What's up, guys? We are back for the next session of Lordly Caliber. Francis isn't here today. Francis has, in his words, a prior engagement. I think he's just lame, personally, that Kane guy. I don't know about him. Regardless.
Such a gentleman, though.
Yeah, he can be a gentleman. He's definitely picked me up bodily the other weekend when we hung out. We apologize for the week off. There was a Lordly Caliber one-shot released. I may or may not have forgot that it was being released today, so it might have come up with a crappy, like, working name, or, like, the name of the file. So I'm cool. Regardless, we're gonna grab that D6. And we're gonna start rolling for our hero points. I'm awake. Starting with... Oh, that's a D5. Starting with... I scrolled way up and I saw somebody roll 24 D6 from that one shot and it freaked me out. Starting with Qazah, Adam, if you would.
Well, this is a very... Why are they running all over the place? There's no reason for all of these drow to be going all over the place. They're no, couldn't follow the right path. No, couldn't go the normal way. No, they had to go up and around and this and down and backtracking. Okay, this has to stop. We're going to find Francis's niece. We're going to go back down. That's going to be it. Enough said. Finished. That's how he's feeling right now.
Fair enough. All right, take your hero point, my friend. Joe, if it hits a 1, you are exempt and you have a hero point because you missed. Colin, you didn't miss. You might have missed. You actually did miss.
Yes, I did. But I got something prepared anyway.
Okay, good, so. Good.
I'm sick of being underground. I'm sick of being away from civilization. I'm sick of civilization everywhere just going to shit and dying. But we did get this statue, and I need to get back. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I need to get back.
That's fair. I keep forgetting that you guys have that. But Colin keeps me on the straight and narrow. And also Zandu gets that hero point. And Adam already went. Van, if you would.
You know, actually, I don't even know anymore. There's just this going around in tunnels and things is it's more Byzantine than sexuality at the capitals. You know, it's crazy, man. And what's up with the snow and the beheading and doesn't anybody have a map of this place? This is ridiculous. I can't wait until we are done with this, but, you know, you're kind of pissing me off a little bit with the beheadings and stuff, so we gotta clean them out, and this is where we start making the world a better place, and so be it. But I'm taking a vacation after this.
That's the spirit.
Agreed.
Alright, take that hero point, my dude, and Donald.
Okay, so what is on Lucia's mind? She have enough of the dark lands, so she wants to get back to a normal routine, or what is normal for the party once they get back to the surface. I mean, she and the party been backtracking forward, backwards, and been wasting valuable time, and she doesn't like that as a individual. You have a plan. You go in and get the job done. There is no excuse to backtrack and waste valuable time that you could be using it for something else.
Fair enough. I feel like that's party consensus after I've made you run through the Darklands so long. Take that hero point, my friend, to bring you guys, and also kind of to bring me up to speed, because we took a week off. You guys have been running around through the Darklands, and now you've realized that Francis's niece has gone missing, as well as his master. They've disappeared, and you've realized that Ularix's army has been attacked and destroyed. You found it reanimated. Backtracking, trying to find these drow. You've also, like, presently, we're picking up right outside the entrance into that cellar that would take you from Korganbeer to Casimir. There are Oh, I'm gonna screw this up. I think there was 2 small piles of snow, 2 medium piles of snow, and then 1 bigger one. Francis had identified the tracks as... No, I don't think he'd identified the tracks. You guys assume they are drow that have come up into Casimir and apparently returned and died. The floor, as always, is up to you guys.
Mayor Poe, once we get back to the surface, what is the plan? Most of us have a bounty on our head, so that's going to make traversing the streets up there very difficult for most of us.
Lady, why are you looking at me? I already went up there, and we're fresh out of ideas. If you can get attacked by a magic piece of paper, or out yourself, or like, hey, look, I'm on it. Come and take me away, please. Like, that's no good. Like,
at least you have a giant snake to defend you now, in case you can't defend yourself.
Dalek has well and indeed returned to you.
This is true, but
I have my big demonic snake now. This is true.
Maybe we could teach him how to take down flyers.
He just becomes like the street cleaning crew after a festival.
He is technically not affected by those mind-affecting things, but he will draw lots of attention.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, having a ooze for this would be perfect to command it to eat all the posters.
Splorpy is still following you guys around. He's kind of like...
No one will want to touch him.
He's kind of on the fritz.
To be clear, he's following Francis around.
Francis is pretty quiet right now, too.
Us around. Francis went into a plant coma.
I wonder if we could teach him to go and get the flyers. I mean, if somebody tries to stop them, they'll get electrocuted.
Is it
that wouldn't be so bad?
How quick? Let's hypothetically say we do send them out. What would be the worst case scenario if something bad happened to him on the surface?
Well, if Lucy is asking, make a knowledge, local history or nobility. All 3 track.
And knowledge local.
Okay.
So wait, by the way, Tommy, I don't think you were on when we were discussing this earlier. So with 5th level Bard, I get Poe gets the Lore Master, so he can take 10 whenever.
Okay.
Right? And take 20 once a day. So all of his knowledge skills are a minimum of at least 9. So it'll be a 19. So if he goes to aid another, then is that an automatic +4?
Yes.
Okay, so you get an automatic +4, Alicia.
All right, so we're looking at a 27. All right, so if a capacitor ooze rolls up into Chelish territory and starts like taking down what you guys know to be traps specifically for people like you, the Chelish will probably just kill Splorpy. You got to remember that also mechanically Splorpy has an amount of negative levels equal to half his hit dice when you guys had him in that machine powering it. So he's not as strong as he could be, and like the things up there will have brain power and tactics and be able to like deal with him. The same goes for Dalek, especially if the Chelish have well and truly converted to Saren Ray worship. That's like, he will ping, they will smite evil, they will beat the tar out of him. Now granted, he's probably... Splorpy won't ping, the Abercurrent Viper will ping.
Is that what I saw? Something definitely bad may happen.
That's not to say it's not the worst idea in the world, because like certainly a capacitor ooze you found in an ancient dwarven ruin probably is not on a wanted poster. But there's another like 2 or 3 moving pieces you think you would have to deal with first.
So I have a question.
Okay.
And this is a slightly out of character one.
Sure.
But it's just for people that know the gaming system, this gaming system better. Protection from energy, does that count against weather or not?
It would count against cold damage, yes.
Okay.
I wonder how Arendelle and Erendelle are doing.
That is a good question. It's hard to say. You guys definitely, like, it tracks 110% that you've been down here for pushing like 70 days.
Yeah, long time.
A lot of things have probably changed up there. What exactly, you have no idea. But it's not going to be the same political or certainly, like, environmental landscape at all once you get back up there. But you have found ways to do so.
Since we were at this particular location, because I know we were here, then we went to fight the evil radioactive ghosts.
It's been about...
Came back.
You guys spent a lot of days traveling up and down last session, so I believe we're at, like, the 70-day mark.
70 days since we were last at this entrance.
Oh, that entrance? That's been 10.
Okay,
yeah.
So not too long.
Right.
Okay. I was wondering if anything might have changed politically here, but probably not with that amount of time.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Still possible, but not as likely.
Right.
I still want to know what we think are drow are going up to the surface, and what they have, if they have any relationship to the so-called Saren Ray worshippers up there.
Yeah.
Did we try to hunt them down last time, the drow, or no?
You guys
we're still trying to chase. We're trying to chase their trail because we couldn't find where they might have gone. So we're going back to where Qazah knows there to be
an entrance to the second layer of the Darklands, second Mina, that's pretty far off. That's like right under Opara, it's quite a walk. But you guys also know that they're moving differently than you would expect. The bats they were riding, you've confirmed to be figurines of wondrous power. There's probably a lot of magic and stuff at play. You guys also know that you figured it out through past knowledge checks in this game that the teleportation barrier does not extend in the Darklands. So
it doesn't.
Right.
This is
so. Can the Wasp go find them?
You can send the Wasp out, yeah.
I have an idea. If we do have to send someone out, I do have a scroll of non-detection ready to be used, so someone can remain technically invisible to divination attempts or detection spell for a short amount of time.
You guys do also know that Zandu has a permanent mind blank on him.
Oh, wait a minute. So Zandu can go up and take down all the flyers.
Yeah, I can.
Except that he has flyers up of himself.
Yeah. But if he has a mind blank, they can't track him, I guess. But
mind blank prevents him from being scryed, and it gives him a pretty big bonus against mind affecting spells, but it's not it doesn't grant immunity. It's like a plus 10.
So, Lucia, how do these flyers work exactly? I mean, if there's something there and it's a sigil or whatever, and it's trying to it has to determine who you are, right?
I'm going to roll knowledge arcana to figure out what I know about these things.
Okay, go for it.
+4.
Ooh.
33.
33. Okay, so Lucia is like 100% sure there's symbols of persuasion.
Okay.
It's a pretty common tactic when the Chelish are putting down rebellions such as this, is they'll hang up wanted posters with as many people as they are aware of. They'll just slap symbols of persuasion keyed to they'll find whether in Lucy's case it's probably just go get some DNA from a pillow or something, but they'll get everything they need and they'll just set them up to trigger.
So how do we get around it then?
Well, a dispel magic would work.
Oh, okay.
Zandu has a pretty darn high bonus on versus mind affecting effects like a symbol of persuasion.
I'm curious, so mechanically, does the bard get access to the dispel magic
If he does, he doesn't retrain his spells. He's chosen his spells. He's a spontaneous.
I am just asking if it's on the list because I have like 6 dispels.
It is on my list. I get it at 3rd level, which I am not at yet for bard casting. So
okay, so if I give you a scroll, you can use them without a problem, right?
He's probably got a lot of ranks in UMD as well.
Yeah, I know when it comes to magic scrolls, as long as it is on your caster list, you can cast it without any problem.
Mhm.
It is the opposition or the classes so someone don't know cure like wounds, they have to use a UMD roll to use it effectively.
Right.
Actually, I don't have a lot of skills in UMD.
Well,
Or a lot of ranks in it.
Can you cast Read Magic? Is that one of your cantrips?
Maybe.
If so, I believe that auto casts a scroll.
And the question then is whether I took it or not.
If you don't have it, I have scrolls.
Yes, I have read magic.
There you go.
Now, if Francis is a plant, right?
That's correct.
Does that make him effectively immune to mind affecting?
I don't remember. He would know. He's
He'd
he,
be an
he-
intelligent plant.
He's an intelligent plant, so
Yeah.
it depends on whether
Plants,
plants are immune to mind affecting.
Yeah,
They might be.
plants, I know they're immune to certain mind effects, but not all.
Yeah.
not all. Okay.
Well, apparently
it up.
plants like the beetles, so there is that.
Well, yeah, certain beetles they like the aphids. No.
No, I mean like Paul and John and
He is immune to
Grow
all
up.
mind affecting effects. So Francis could move
So
through. But you
Francis
guys
could
also
go
know it's
up and
very
take those
snowy.
down.
You guys also know that like there are soldiers patrolling the streets. You guys and by you guys I mean Zandu and Pogue, you guys both know that you escaped detection by pretty much the skin of your teeth. Also, you probably escaped detection because somebody else didn't.
that's right.
So
Okay. Well, it doesn't. I mean, Qazah and Francis probably would want to continue searching for tracking these things, these drow down.
mhm.
And it doesn't. We don't think they went up, right? We think they went down.
It's hard to say. You know, they're not traveling under normal means, so you know that's where like the closest drow city is. But there are a lot of variables that you guys have yet to answer.
Okay.
Well, it seems if the going up right now isn't going to save anybody's lives.
Right.
And if we sit here and think about it, we're going to lose whatever time we have to try and catch up with them, with the drow. And
The lizard army, they went north, right? So
Yeah,
if
the army of lizard folk was traveling north to get back to the Witch Bowl, and then they were ambushed and they were killed. You know that Ularix himself, as well as the snake that followed him around, their bodies weren't among the dead. The same is true for Deneb, Silas, and the Oakleshi, but Ularix's daughter was definitely killed. And as well as that entire, like, his personal bodyguard has been killed and, for the most part, reanimated. Because you guys had to pass through those
And they
lizard
were
folk.
they were just standing there, right?
Yeah.
They-
The only
they were
thing the
not
drow have
moving.
killed that, like, really applies to you so far has been Lucia's imp.
Right, and they haven't. That one didn't advance anywhere, did it?
That one what?
That grouping of. Oh,
Those zombies?
yeah.
Not to your knowledge. They didn't follow you.
generally, when it comes to zombies, unless if they receive new orders, they generally stay in one place until they get new commands.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true.
So if we do go on top to the surface, so where do we need to go exactly in Casimir exactly?
Well, you guys know, like, you could go up here into Casimir, you could go through the ruins of that dwarven city, and you would end up in the middle of the Verduran forest. In addition, you could go west a ways, end up in Druma. In Casimir, I don't know if you guys had necessarily landed on a very definitive, just like, we go here, so much as Pogue is looking for Pogue's friends.
If I remember, before we went through the Darkland to backtrack and force, we were going to talk to causing some chaos or trouble in the city.
Right.
But that was like 12, 13 sessions ago.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it was.
Before Gugfest.
Gugfest 2018!
Yeah. Well, but as far as I'm concerned, we were there because we knew that as much as possible that our friends were either out of harm's way or were in somebody else's, we're in their own hand. Their destiny was in their own hands.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, if we have family and friends that are and leaders of allies that are in trouble, isn't that what we do rather than just going and making mischief?
Pogue's alignment switches to lawful good. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's definitely chaotic good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Qazah wants to help Francis find his niece. That's what Qazah wants to do, because that's what Francis wants to do when he's attached to Francis.
Yeah, I mean, if Lucia wants to help find his family and friends, she knows what it's like to lose people close to her.
Yeah.
You mean like when your slaves escape?
Awkward silence.
They are assets and tools. Unless you have a personal bond with them, then that is a different matter. Then
Pogue just rolls his eyes.
Anyway, so what is the plan? So
do we get on the damn carpet and make a run for it?
Make a run where?
Isn't that what you know?
In the freezing cold.
Yeah, well,
No, not in the cold. Down below.
Down here, surrounded by death.
Well, how are we going to get our people back? Our friends back? Our family back? We have to go after them, right? And they're down here.
Can I get everybody to really quickly make me a perception check?
Poof, your perception check. Sorry, I've been making dad jokes with my daughter all week.
I'm going to re-roll my perception.
Understood.
23 from Pogue.
Zandy's got an 11. Qazah has a 25. Lucia has a 26. Joe?
1 second.
Did the fonts on Roll20 change?
They did. I hate it so much. It's super tiny. I can barely read it.
Okay, so I'm not...
You're not crazy.
Well, not that type of crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's 16. Alright, so
I'm crazy.
as you guys are talking about this, it kind of goes over Zandu's head. It goes over a little less so Enderling's head, but for Lucia and Pogue and Qazah, like, you guys are able to reason out that it's not even confirmed that Francis's niece and master have been captured by the drow, because teleportation does work down here. Francis's master is a very powerful druid and probably has ways to get around things like that, to say nothing of the Black Dragon, who assumes these druids are going to help his people survive Thimblewinter. It's possible. It's completely possible. that Deneb and Silas and even like Ularix and his servants have been captured and taken down there. But it's definitely not 100%.
All right, so while we're talking, my wasp is out looking, right?
Okay.
All right.
Is there a specific place you'd like to go with your wasp, Van?
What are the limitations on it teleporting?
Your caster level is your hit dice. It can also teleport through the barrier. It's the issue of teleporting your wasp on the surface right now is the high wind and snow.
Right, but I mean, down below, could the wasp teleport to... Wait, can the wasp teleport other people too?
It cannot, just itself.
Right, that's what I thought. So, could he teleport to the Drow City and see if somebody's coming?
That's a little too far.
No, okay.
Because you got to go down in addition to over.
If I remember teleportation, it's limited how far you can go.
That is correct.
I'll think about it while we're continuing on. So
okay, sure. Well, what's the plan, gentlemen?
If we do send someone up to the surface, Mayor Poe here, I could give him a bunch of scrolls he can use to find the way that he needs to go, and remove wanted posters. That's one idea I have. He is pretty good being the sneaky kind of halfling.
With the exception of, like, he will definitely leave footprints. Well, he has celestial armor. He might not definitely leave footprints.
He'll be separated from the rest of us and surely die.
Yeah,
that's true too. Can my wasp cast spells?
It cannot.
Oh.
It's not like a true familiar. It can record messages, it can teleport, and it can, like, communicate with you and communicate with other people.
All right. Wait, can't one of you guys or gals, like, ask questions? Like
Zandu.
Zandu used his last session at the behest of Francis. But that is accurate. Given a little more time, Zandu could do that again.
How long is that?
What's the recharge on it, Colin? Who may or may not be with us right now. Shouting into the void.
Yeah, I've been talking to you. It's just I forgot to get the push button going on.
Got that push button.
Yeah. So Zandu can once per week use automatic writing, which will give us an hour's worth of questions. But
why can we just ask if our friends are with the Drow?
The question is how long it's been since he last used it, and the other problem is that I don't have any more divination spells. I have a special ability that I can basically do the same thing, but I have no more spells.
Mm-hmm.
Because
when was the last time you used it? I think it's been like 4 or 5 days.
It was something like, it's probably been like 4 days. That might not be 100% accurate, but it's something like that.
But so you'd have to wait a few more days then, because it recharges every 7 days.
Ugh.
I have spells that I can cast at will, but I need incense to cast them.
Like, and mechanically, a certain amount of incense that costs a certain amount of gold?
That costs more than eschew materials will allow me to bypass.
I see, okay.
What does it cost the incense total?
Let me double check.
As a psychic caster, Zandu can use like items of significance with the same amount of GP value to sub in for that cost. He doesn't have to have exactly that incense.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I knew this before. Okay. So It needs to be worth at least 25 gold.
Okay.
Okay.
So what would need to happen is Zandu would need an appropriate offering worth 25 gold relative to the questions you're asking.
Or incense, which would work either way.
So it's 25,
It says incense and, so
it's 25 gold. 25 gold, and how? What would the other cost
but
be?
you got to understand, you can't just hand him the gold. That does not work. He requires an appropriate offering worth 25 gold pieces. The incense, we didn't even need the incense because that falls under skew materials as a sorcerer.
Okay.
So he just needs, it will consume 25 gold worth of, like, for example, if this was Qazah that'd gone missing and you had like one of his like scarves, say, there's probably some really nice silk scarves on Qazah's person that are worth about that. Or like our couple pages from Lucia's spellbook that might be worth 25 gold, etc. etc.
So when it comes to offering, it can be any items, right?
It must be. I'm saying this. I'm really just talking to Colin, not to be a dick, but I said this a couple times. It must be relative to the question he is asking. Questions.
Okay.
It has to cover everything.
Okay. I have a few first level scrolls. I can
Okay,
just
so those
give.
are absolutely not relative because those are
are
pertaining to you.
What about something from the dead princess?
That would help him find Ularix. Yeah. You guys would need to backtrack to her. Well, no, I think you guys put her body in that bag of holding. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That would track.
Well, you want a lock of hair or something, or what?
It has to be worth 25 gold. You would need to loot the body. That makes it sound much worse than actually what it is that you are doing. You're not trying to we probably will sell her stuff eventually. But
does the body have any items that she's probably not going to miss that would cover the cost?
That's a good question.
Just take a lock of hair, right?
It has to be worth 25 gold.
25 gold.
Her hair is pretty cool.
Her hair is made out of gold.
Yeah.
How about boots?
She probably has stuff on her, but no one really examined the body.
How about we examine the body for any...
Pogue's already pulling her out of the bag.
Alrighty.
Also, where are we relative to where the outside area is? Like, are we in the basement, or are we, upstairs?
You guys are, at the entrance to the basement. You're still in the Darklands, but you're pretty high up at, you're hop, skip, and a jump from Casimir. Anywho.
Gotcha.
The percentage dice indicate that, I believe I'd said last session that she'd been stripped down. But as you guys are you pull out her body, and by you I mean Pogue, because Pogue was the first one on it. Pogue does find it's invisible, permanently invisible, and strapped to the small of her back. There's a dagger, and that dagger has a ruby in the pommel, which would serve the cost.
Sweet.
I don't even need the whole dagger, just the ruby.
Yeah, just the ruby would do it.
Alright.
Pogue wants an invisible dagger.
Well, is it invisible, or it's invisible when it's in the sheath, and then it's visible once you pull it out of the
It's sheath? Totally invisible. You kind of you pull her out, and your hand brushes against it, and you feel the pommel, and you realize this is a small, piercing, probably hard to tell, can't see it instrument.
Nice.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. For Pogue, of course, it's about the size of a short sword, and when Pogue picks it up, it doesn't resize. It remains the weight of what Pogue would see as a short sword.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, so we need to... The last piece is we need to wait a few days before we can cast this. Is that right?
No, that was only if I was going to do automatic writing, which does not require...
Oh, okay, got it.
Anything.
Okay, sure.
So... Zandu, I suppose, will... hold his hand out and ask Pogue for the ruby.
The ruby does become visible as he pops it off the dagger.
Yeah.
I don't know how he knows it's there, but it is.
Pogue is good at feeling things without and knowing what they are without being able to see them.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll
Come
just
on
leave
now.
it at that.
He's the seer of Varisia. He can see things. Sure.
Pogue can't see.
Poe,
Pogue says, "See no evil, say no evil."
Mayor Poe, he is very good with his hand, as it is his profession to be a hand expert.
Exactly. So, various professions in which he knows things via touch. So, go on.
Zandu needs 10 minutes that are uninterrupted in order to cast the spell.
Okay. It's pretty quiet right now. You think you could probably get that 10 minutes and you'd be fine.
Cool. Alright. Zandu will ask for, his name was Ularix, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
His exact location.
Okay. Here come the percentage dice. A 97. Alright, so Zandu asks what he asks. The ruby turns to just like fine red dust and then blows away in his hand as he does so. And in his mind's eye, he sees Ularix in his dragon form at the head of a much, 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 much bigger army than what he came to Kathir with. They are somewhere in the Darkland. It's not just lizard folk. There are several elves, half-elves, marsh giants that have been honorably killed and reanimated to escape the giants going crazy. Before he had a very sizable bodyguard to kind of like puff his chest out. Now it's like all of Tarangard has emptied. He's in the Darklands. You want his exact location. His exact location is like where the Darklands begin to turn down as if they're going into Sekamina.
So for us to have a rough idea for measurement, so how far is that downwards from where we are exactly?
Make a knowledge check.
Okay, so knowledge geography it would be. I was
Yeah,
assume for.
yeah, that works.
+4.
That is dope.
Yeah, true.
25.
25.
Like, for you guys, in a really small group, with that carpet, assuming nothing attacks you, it's about 3 days down. For a dragon that can magic or acid his way through obstacles and stuff, probably about half that. Even with, like, this huge army behind him, they essentially are making, like, a superhighway everywhere they go.
I think I asked the wrong question when I asked Ularix. Oh, because his daughter was dead. Gotcha.
Correct. That was the information you had.
Okay. Yeah. Mixing up him with Francis's master druid.
That was Silas.
Now,
of course, Francis probably has stuff in his inventory pertaining to that same thing. And I'm pretty sure Kane and Francis both would allow you to use something worth 25 gold to ask the same question pertaining to Silas.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be from his inventory, but sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd jump on it, but
what we can do is Kane will be here next week. We can, if you want to do it, Francis will agree, and then next session Francis can whatever he has in his inventory worth 25 gold to expend. Because he knows, but he's not here right now. But he will totally agree. Probably not to put words in a good friend of mine's mouth, but we all know how it is.
It's gonna be like, I haven't got anything except for my left nut.
Oh, there you go. You're spending that.
We don't want to know.
All right. So it's the exact same question. You want the exact location of Francis's master,
and his niece. Can you do that?
As well as his. It'd probably have to be a separate question. I don't know.
You could probably word it in such a way that you get both of them.
Francis's loved ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that could be his whole family, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of roots. That's a big question.
Yeah.
Zandu's head's gonna blow up.
Family, or phrase it to include those two people in the term family for the
What are the exact locations of Silas and Deneb?
Okay, got it. So you see, it's kind of like your brain kind of goes split screen for a second because you've asked for two people. So quickly, like at the top, you see the big old burly druid with his woodsman's axe. That is Silas. He's somewhere in Ustalov. You're not sure where. It's very snowy. It's also like deep, dark forest someplace. When you try to when you ask where Deneb is, you get it's kind of like looking at the same image from two perspectives, because right next to Silas is that oak leshy, and it would appear that Deneb is there.
But is there any... when I'm looking at this, do they seem to be in harm's way at the moment?
I've rolled an 8. Okay, so...
Uh-oh.
They're cold. Silas is shivering. The oak leshy is also shivering. But that's kind of to be expected, considering what they've gone up into.
Mm-hmm.
They're also considerably farther north than Taldor is. So,
yeah.
But you can tell that, like, they didn't... Like, they're not in southern Kyanin trying to save lizard folk. They're in Ustalov.
Yeah.
They appear to be just standing around a sacred druidic circle.
Alright, I will relay this information to the rest of the party.
Ustalov. What are they doing in Ustalov?
Well, in Kane's stead, I'll say, "Oh, at least they're safe."
That is a long way to travel. Are they at least safe?
It doesn't necessarily confirm safe, because like the world is ending. Safe is kind of arbitrary.
To Drow,
but they are definitely not in Sekamina with the Drow for sure.
Yeah, they're not actively being attacked at the moment.
Safe as in they are not going to be killed by the Drow.
Actually, really quickly, can I, just from Zandu, can I get a Knowledge Arcana real fast?
Sure. Ugh, that was awful.
Let Pogue be helpful?
Yeah, Pogue is all... I'm treating all the knowledge checks as +4 now.
Yeah.
21.
So it dawns on Zandu that, like, he sees a very powerful druid shivering in the cold.
It must be very cold.
It's very, very certainly within a druid's wheelhouse to stop that from happening. He either cannot or is not. Which is hard to say, but, like, there's definitely something up there.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on up there, but Silas is shivering, and he should be able to prevent that. Like, he's a very powerful druid. It just doesn't track.
It also dawns on probably dawns on the squad at this point, to tell you the truth. If you could get through that dwarf city that's haunted and get out into the Verduran forest, you would certainly come into contact with other druids, because that's where they live in Taldor. They may have more information on the subject.
Sorry, I missed like the last 3 seconds because I got food.
They may have more information on the subject. I think that was about 3 seconds of talking.
I missed what they was.
Oh, the
druids.
There are druids in the Verduran forest, which was what we were looking for in the first place by going there.
So, Tommy, how big was that haunt?
Pretty big. It seemed to follow you guys. When dealing with the supernatural, it's not necessarily something so concrete as size so much as like the suffering of the souls within and their ability to project that suffering onto the living or whatever it is they want to project on. It seemed like there was
exercise with purge spirit, or is it beyond that?
It's more like one big giant thing. You couldn't necessarily like Resident Evil not execution style, exorcist style, and just like the power of Sarenrae compels you. But like each individual ghost, that would take a long time. It's big enough that that's not viable. But of course,
okay, I do have a specific spell for dispelling haunts.
Killing the haunt would, like, that's doable. You can do that. It is treated as one haunt. Just like if you, the player, wants to target an individual ghost with some kind of effect, in that scenario, it's real bad.
No, it targets the haunt specifically.
Oh, there you go. Well, that is a thing.
One of the necromancy spells I know is purge spirit, but I would have a limited amount of use of that if I were to.
Zandu just took that too.
That spell would be very good up in the dwarf city.
Working together, you might be able to get some kind of result.
With all of the AoE spells, and I focus on using purge spell. How many? So if we fought them for a day, would that be enough, or would we have to retreat, rest up, and then continue to fight them another day for the
them
purge?
As in the haunt?
Yes, I'm just figuring out how long it would take for us, for time-wise, if we were to deal with the haunt.
Make a knowledge check.
So knowledge will. Let's see. It would be knowledge religion then.
Yeah, that works. That's 24 because Pogue tags you. It's treated as one haunt, and Qazah can confirm that with his 29. This spell isn't necessarily like you're gonna go fight the thing. It's not necessarily like you're not going in guns blazing. This spell is to rip away a target's spiritual. So instead of going up into that city with a couple of like P90s and just spray and praying, what you're doing is you're going in with a tactical nuke. It would be certainly, even like it does damage, but it would target like the one big thing, and if two of you cast it, it is a thing.
The question is like, is it something we could reasonably dispel the haunt with it, or within a reasonable amount of time, or would it take several days worth of spells in order to do so?
It would probably take just one. It may take more.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think either one of two scenarios will happen. You think either the one big like ripping away of what is more or less a group spirit sort of thing will occur and the haunt is dispelled, or depending on what in particular caused the haunt to form and how much trauma there is, etc., etc. It may take several castings. The haunt may even come back. There may even be facets of the haunt to which you are unaware. Because you guys, like, you were aware of it, you got away from it.
Worst come to worst, if we do go down there, I can prepare a purge spell, but once we're down there, we can just use a stone shape to get to the surface and then close the way back.
Do you remember?
So
I've said this, and I will repeat it now. You don't have enough stone shapes to just dig up. I made this mistake. I made this mistake at Rise of the Runelords on Tuesday. Stone Shape's a really good spell, but you will get 19 cubic feet per casting. It was really good when you guys were fighting those gugs because you could open the passageway, but to actively dig something big enough to move the entire squad through, because one imagines you would need something. Well, you have that carpet, you don't need stairs, but even the straight up is going to take a couple castings for like each 5-foot increment. It would take, though you could do it, a lot of time, and also eventually you'd run out of stone and you'd hit dirt, and then the dirt would just cave in on you, and the snow. Though you guys are aware that, like, you would need to find a way to recharge Splorpy, but Splorpy and that strange construct you guys rode on the interstate on the back of, if you're Lucia or Qazah, like, that could clear the blockage. That would, like, get you guys out where Qazah knows you can get out.
I am thinking, rationally, there would be other places to potentially charge our friend. That there have to be other batteries in the city besides just the one.
It makes sense. That certainly tracks.
I am thinking, if we are looking after a battery, there have to be what would be car battery size compared to just one big one. The dwarves, when they made the city, they must have had taken this into consideration for power use and for the number of oozes to use it.
That does track. Most of that information has been lost to time, unless, like, you go hit, like, the Dwarven Archives in the Five Kings Mountains, which that's a possible place you could go.
I am thinking,
but
if
it's
we
like
do find batteries, it would probably be in the engineer section of the city.
So you're not entirely sure what engineer section of the city means, as there is nothing on the inner sea right now that's anywhere. Well, I guess you have like the blacksmiths district, so something like that. Again, like, Splorpy may be one of a kind. Splorpy may be the only one left. It's completely a wash unless you were to find the information somewhere. And even then, that might not help you. Or worse, it would tell you that, like, definitively one was made. He found a headband of intelligence and then escaped and waited for you guys for 1,000 years. I digress.
Well, maybe if I had something of significance to Splorpy.
Well,
worth 25 gold.
You do. It might help you get your daughter back, but you do.
Oh, yeah.
In addition, like, any bits of that necklace of fireballs that Francis is carrying, worth 25 gold, of course. That headband, as a waste of a good headband. I will attack the party if you do that. All of the Gugs return. They're just going to target Zandu.
It's not like Zandu could get the headband out anyways.
Yeah.
You'd have to have Francis do it for him.
And Francis would not do that, I don't think.
No, he would not.
Francis wouldn't do that knowing his character.
But, like, you could use one of the bits of that necklace of fireballs you're carrying.
Yeah. I do suppose that would work.
Yeah.
Those Gugs seemed pretty scared of Splorpy. They didn't want him to recharge for some reason. They destroyed his food source.
That is true.
So it is possible we could locate another one within the within a reasonable distance, using a bit of necklace of fireball.
What about why don't we use one of those belts that we have?
The belts of giant strength that you retrieved from the Gugs, that doesn't have any significance to Splorpy. It might have significance to why those Gugs were all moving in unison and attacking in unison.
Yeah, that's very true.
What's very true? I'm confused now.
Because the Gugs were basically acting as a hive mind. It might tell us why they were doing so.
The belts would?
Those belts came from the Gugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Zandu could use that to divine something.
Yeah.
You could divine where those damn Gugs are, huh?
Yeah.
Not that I want to fight more Gugs, but yes.
Knowing where the Gugs are or where they call home is probably a good way to try to avoid them in the Darklands.
Or beat their asses when they're not expecting it. Pogfest 2018.
There you go.
All right. So what's it going to be?
We can put, if we do go back into the Darklands.
You guys are presently in the Darklands. You are at the entrance to Casimir. You are not. If you were in Casimir, you would be making fort saves versus the cold, and paladins are coming for you. Especially that dragon.
So if we go further into the Darklands, to the Dwarf City, and then deal with the Haunt, that is a direct way if we want to use the time to make a way through the undergrounds to get to the forest area.
It's probably the best way to the verdant forest.
Yeah. Can I get a quick one more time? Can I get a perception check from everybody?
Ooh. Zandu is not very observant sometimes.
Oh, Zandu. This goes entirely over Zandu's head.
There's too much going on in that head for him to realize what's going on outside of it.
That was a ridiculous roll.
All right. So I see
21 from Pogue.
21 from Pogue.
It's plus 19.
23 from. Well done. A 23 from Lucia. Okay, and Qazah especially. You guys know that with the Pogue and Qazah are members of what remains of the Eagle Knights, the Cult of the Dawnflower, active members of the Resistance prior to the campaign. Lucia, Enterling, Zandu as well. Zandu's probably the most famous person in the party. Francis and Enterling they're not guilty by association anymore because they've done their part. It's even more awkward for Lucia because Lucia is many people in the rebellion would assume that Lucia is some kind of double agent, and no one likes necromancy, and there are probably a lot of people that don't trust her. But more importantly, you guys were able to kill General Hassan. Kathir was taken because of you guys. You guys also were responsible for getting a lot of people. This is specifically Pogue was responsible for getting the party out of those prisons when everyone was captured. The rebellion doesn't necessarily ride on your shoulders, but you're very important to it. You've been gone for over 2 months. If you get back to it with nothing to show for your time gone, there's nothing to say you aren't just sent away. And doing so, of course, in addition to now you would have no friends. As the world is coming to an end, you would lose things like Mercutio's multiverse merchants. You would lose things like
we do have an ancient relic and the location of the greatest archaeological discovery of who knows when.
Also, the world is ending.
To the Empire.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your girlfriend. Oh wait, I already lost that. Thanks.
You also have a way into the Empire, though. It's dangerous.
That is definitely true. That information is pretty solid. You guys are the first people of the Resistance to have figured that out.
To have figured what out?
The fact that the teleportation barrier that will cheesecloth you if you try to teleport on the surface, it's not a dome, it's a sphere. Or rather, it's a dome, not a sphere.
Not a sphere.
Said that backwards. You can teleport in the Darklands and you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have some useful information from being down here, but no blood to show for it, I suppose.
You have blood. You guys have definitely a lot of blood has been spilled by you guys and by things that are bad. So that part is kind of a wash.
I do suppose, though, we should find our way into the forest near here. Now that we know that we can teleport down here, it could provide if we can figure out a way to the surface from there, it could provide a quick route to basically directly attacking the capital.
That is true. Also, I guess the last bit of mechanical something that it probably dawns on Donald because I know the man's playstyle, but it's not long before both Zandu and Lucia would be able to teleport with the combination of both of them, the whole squad mostly, wherever you wanted to go down here. So that also is a thing. You know that by the power of the full caster, you may not be suffering forever. Welcome to Pathfinder.
Between the amount of teleportation prepared between Zandu, Lucia, and the dragon.
Oh yeah, your dragon cast spells. Yeah, there you go. You can definitely get a lot of places.
The only issue when it comes to teleportation is having that knowledge where to teleport to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, I say we find a route up to the forest, because that'll give us a good rallying point for the army if we can dig our way up there.
Yeah, and you know, to do that, that means you would need to go. You need to go through that haunt, and then you would need to move through again the biggest archaeological discovery on Galarion in forever, and go that path the Qazah knows will take you there.
So wait a minute. How far can we teleport? How far can we teleport?
It's like 100 miles per caster level, I think. Is that right, Donald?
So
that sounds right.
I have to double check. I think it is about 100 miles per caster level.
So how far is Casimir from the Verduran Forest?
That's a good question. Not far.
Yeah,
it depends on where in the forest you are, really, because the Verduran Forest is real big. That's hundreds of miles of forest. So.
Yeah, but it'd be a good place to rally an army without being spotted.
So can we teleport there now?
No, because if someone can can teleport, yes, but you can't. Like up will contact the barrier. Forward does not.
It is 100 miles per caster level.
Wait,
so next level.
The teleport barriers around the kingdom, right?
Including, you assume. Well, no one's tried to teleport up. That could be a risky proposition.
But I have a question. What if we go up to the basement and then teleport within the kingdom?
Then if you're on the surface, you're sure you've contacted the barrier and you would kill yourself.
So it goes around the kingdom, but is it within the kingdom?
It's, like, if you are in Opara and you want to teleport to Casimir and you don't have permission to do so, you arrive in pieces.
Oh,
okay. So it's anywhere inside of there, regardless of whether you're outside already.
Unless you have, like, special permission to do so. Yes. And, like, Lucia would know... I don't want to necessarily spout my mouth off on that one.
Okay.
Let's have Lucia make a knowledge check to see if she knows how. She doesn't. She definitively cannot teleport through the Empire right now, but she might know how to get it.
I would assume I have a general knowledge how teleportation works for sure.
Yeah, I'm saying like how to get access to being able to teleport throughout the Empire without dying, because you're like from there.
Probably some sort of magic device you would need.
Mm-hmm.
So 34.
You
Yep.
That's pretty good. It's by like direct order of whoever's in charge. Presently, that's your uncle. So it's imagine kind of like being blessed on an altar, and then you can do it. It's that kind of effect.
So
the LaCroix family isn't important enough. MacLeod, your father, might be now. It's hard to say. You've been out of contact for a long time. But that's like, you would need special permission from the Emperor himself. The same tracks for like the Taldan Emperor.
So, hypothetically, if we found a subordinate with the permission or information, we could in theory rip the password or information out of...
No, not a no. 100% you must get it from the Holy Emperor of Cheliax or his now subordinate client state in Taldor. That's the one way. Or, well, no, that's not true. The other way would be, like, if you knew someone who had permission and they teleported with you, they could take you and you would be fine.
I'm not seeing that plan being of use to us unless we become BFFs, which is probably not going to happen.
I still say that now that we have the ability to deal with that haunt, to deal with it and create a tunnel going out to the forest so that we have basically a route of attack for the army when we return.
I agree with the haunt plan. That is something tangible we can deal with.
That's very true.
Let's do it.
So now we're backtracking again on our backtrack.
Welcome to Pathfinder.
We are doing something more productive this time, not just following tracks.
Well, it will give you. It also gives you a chance to prepare all your spells.
Yeah, we also have that cool wand.
No, that wand is dead. That wand is very dead.
Yeah, it's empty.
Yeah, Qazah's still keeping it.
Qazah doesn't get nice toys.
That's right. Because Qazah doesn't have all the nice toys that everybody else has, so he's at least keeping that. So
maybe an ultra-powerful druid could repair it.
Fair.
Yeah,
Or
something like
charge
that.
it.
He's holding out hope.
Alright. How long does it take to get back there? A few days, maybe?
1 day would get you back to that.
1 day?
Assuming nothing happens between here and there, 1 day would get you there.
Assuming nothing happens. That's a big assumption in the Darklands, but
Yes, it is.
I'll take it. 1 day is good enough for me to get back my level 4 spells, which I used on divination.
Right.
One more day. Oh, what?
Man, I hope you guys get through the Darklands before Kane comes back, because he'll be so happy with you guys. I can just hear it now. Finally!
Destiny.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Right?
Alright, so I'm hearing we're traveling back to the ancient Dwarven Citadel.
Yep.
The percentage dice will decide your fate.
Zandu, for the 4th level spells I'm preparing. So if I prepare 3 purge spells and then the rest stone shape, I think that should be enough.
We're not going to be able to stone shape our way out of there.
Several weeks, Donald. I need to stress that to you because I feel like I've said that to you like 20 times.
I thought you said days, not weeks.
It's
Weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks.
That's because you're going up, and you there will be other complications up to and including cave-ins, up to and including what happens there.
Snow
Yeah. God forbid you go up into a lake.
Yeah.
Anywho, I've rolled well enough on the percentage dice. You guys are able to pass through the Darklands back to that city with no problem. It's uneasily quiet. Actually. Yeah, no, I'll be kind. It's really, really quiet. Almost.
Too quiet.
Yeah, kind of.
Almost deathly quiet.
As there should be stuff happening, and stuff is not happening. You aren't sure why, and
there should be ghosts attacking us or something.
Like there should be drow attacking you because they've been following you. Francis saw them. Lucia's imp saw them before Lucia's imp was spirited charged to death. It's like they are there. Now they are not.
They may be preoccupied with the
Oh, we got art now.
They may be preoccupied with Ulorix and his dragon form, since he was marching into Seknap.
That is true. So you guys do
Very
reach
true.
that city exactly where you reached it, in that back alley, with no problem. Nothing attacks you. It looks like the Gugs have left the basement alone. No Gugs.
Good.
There's 9 of them somewhere, but they aren't this time.
As
They're gonna come back and be final boss.
Yeah.
those Gugs, as long as we do not see them ever again, I am happy.
I was just getting rolling.
So, are we gonna have a haunt start attacking us?
It hasn't started yet.
It seemed to have started back where we found the source of Splorpy's food. But I say we take advantage of the time that it's not attacking us to see if we can possibly spot another way to heal Splorpy.
Let's check what would be the trade section of the city, or where would the dwarf trade craft.
So to be clear, this this is a knowledge history check. Mechanically, you would either need to have a crit on or have some kind of information about, because they don't build the cities the same way. This is like planet Earth if you discovered, like, if you could like dig under modern day Iran and find like Babylon almost entirely put together, but except for the fact that Babylon had technology and a lot of it was lost. That's the closest analogy I can come up
Okay,
with. You guys are kind of like, you aren't grasping at straws, but there's no definitive
Zandu's
plan.
gonna try and read some of the some of the runes to see if there's like signs pointing one way or another to different districts.
Sure.
With linguistics.
So most of the signs and stuff that you see are covered over in Blightburn. That is, it's under that like glass, so you aren't in danger of irradiating yourself, but like it would burn if you touched it.
Gotcha. But there's no writing anywhere.
Not that isn't covered over. You might get like what might be like an
A letter,
or like half, like the top half of a letter in a really archaic form of Dwarven.
Gotcha. So no linguistics will work. Darn.
You might be able to clear away some of the Blightburn, but of course that's its own problem.
I could ask Francis to clear it away.
Yes, you could, and he will do so.
I'm going to roll knowledge history to figure out where the trade section or the craft section of the city is.
All right, I want to stress to Donald he's rolling the natural 20. And he doesn't, so you have no idea. This is entirely 110% foreign to you.
Does take 20 count as a natural 20?
It does not. It would if I wasn't really generous about crit fails and crit successes. But since I am, you can't just... Can I literally have the best result and also some special free stuff right now? Because I would like to.
No, it's just a knowledge one.
Knowledge ones are important. Okay, so Lucia has no idea. Zandu has a linguistics check. You guys have come out into what appears to be like a residential district. Kind of like a little more urban residential, like imagine like a big apartment complex. It's that kind of thing. So you might see something like it's a bad name to be like Mushroom Street, but it's kind of like that, just random. Again, it's really fascinating to the right people, but in terms of you need to find a thing, it doesn't really help.
Gotcha. Still fascinating.
Yeah.
How many fireballs do we have left on those necklaces of fireball?
No idea.
Someone does.
Francis.
Oh,
Kane,
he does?
in the comments.
If I remember, I think we used like 2 up.
That's what I thought too.
I was like
2 or 3.
I forget.
So, did anyone remember what type of amulet it is? So we have a rough guess. What is left?
A guess is not good enough for an item that can do that much damage.
I think it's type 2 or type 3 that you give. So
I gave him the big one, but you can't guess what he has left. I'm telling you, that item is too powerful for you to just make guesswork. That item is in Francis's inventory, and you can use it for like divination stuff. But we're not gonna throw fireballs that may or may not. It's not Schrodinger's fireball.
Yeah.
The fireball is both melting everyone and non-existent.
I was gonna say use whatever's the weakest one for a divination. Whatever's the weakest fireball that's in there still.
What are we trying to divine?
He wants to try to divine where Splorpy can charge himself.
Yeah, and perhaps we should leave this city and go back into the basement at least temporarily, so we're not exposed to the blight burn.
Can we use?
I do so.
Can we use the broken stuff to divine where there's another one?
No, because yes, you could. You could go back to that garage and you could divine that.
But what happens if that is the only one and we would need to fix it somehow?
It's also considerably far away. Like, the carpet's fast, but Splorpy's excavation golem is much, much, much faster. And you guys got there in about an hour. So it's quite a bit of travel time. And it's a matter of time before the haunt kicks on.
So I say we step out so the haunt doesn't kick on while I'm trying to div in where the next thing, where another recharging or food station or whatever you want to call it would be.
Sure.
If everyone do not mind this, I actually know radiation ward, so I can give everyone that temporary bonus.
You know what?
Oh, that's real nice.
Yes, it's one of the second level spells, and I was looking over. I actually know this, so I'm surprised what I actually know when it comes to wizard spells.
I see. So that mechanically is like a +4 versus radiation effects, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, so I still say we step out so the haunt doesn't kick on while we're
Okay.
On
trying
that
to
note,
divine stuff.
on that note. Okay, yeah, I roll in. The percentage dice are really liking the Lord of the Caliber squad today. You guys, you are able to move back into the basement. Like, the haunt doesn't
We're
even
living.
stir. Okay, you are back down in the halls.
Alright,
Don't
Zandu
take
is gonna take whatever's the lowest fireball that we have left, the weakest one.
There's certainly at least, like, I don't mind, like, here's a 1d6 fireball. We can burn that. I just don't want to, like, how many fireballs do we have left? Oh, we just used the 1d6s, right? I don't remember. I didn't use them. Haha, 50
No, we definitely use, like, one of the highest level ones. I know that.
Yeah, I think one of the 9s was used.
But whatever's the lowest one that Kane would have in his inventory still left over.
Yeah, nobody blew the tiny fireball.
Yeah. So Zandu will take the 1d6 one and he will ask for the exact location of the closest functional food source for Splorpy, the ooze.
All right. So the fireball is expended. It's this one kind of like, rather than the ruby like dusts and then dust in the winds, it's a little more like the glass shatters, the oil gets on your hands, it like it burns a little, but it then like evaporates into nothing. And unfortunately that wording does give you just what an ooze would eat in terms of well
I said Splorpy specifically.
that's true. That's fair. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, so you get like an aerial view of the city, and you're quickly flown over the top. And there are several, pretty much all over the place. Little to much bigger charging stations for Splorpy. Some of them are even right where you come out in little side buildings adjacent to living quarters. I don't think garages exist in Galarian right now, but like that, all the way up to and including like bigger places where like the golems are created.
Ooh, that's...
There are several. There are many. It might even track that you might be. Well, hold up.
So can we put that?
It does track that you can probably even find more of what more capacitor oozes like Splorpy.
Could find more of them.
Like as you see these various charging stations, you see more capacitor oozes of all shapes and sizes just hanging out. Now, of course, a lot of those probably aren't sentient and might try to kill you. But
well, eat you.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, maybe Splorpy can negotiate with them. I don't know if that's possible, but I don't know if
I'm pretty sure that's not possible.
Yeah, because they don't respond to it because they don't have a brain unless you want to like hand off somebody's intelligence headband to another Splorpy and then they can form a Splorpy civilization. It'd be like that episode of Rick and Morty where all the dogs get real smart and they take over.
Oh! I have an even better idea. Just let Splorpy roll into it and take over the other ooze with its intelligence.
Yep, we are Splorpy.
Okay, so the 9 on the percentage dice says that's like rolling two like billiard balls together and expecting to make one more bigger billiard ball. They just bounce off each other. Had I rolled well, then yeah, sure, we'll make the biggest capacitors we can.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been real good.
Awesome.
Yeah, we are making the Borg now. And
God, Mom, you never let us have any fun.
I do so. You didn't fight the Gugs. You didn't fight. I had a whole like ambush party of Drow, but the dice
How
said
about
no.
Knowledge Arcana to see if the intelligence given to Splorpy by the headband will move to another ooze, like the same sentience?
Sure, yeah, you can
the
do
same identity?
You're gonna try and substitute Splorpy out for another Splorpy and
No,
hope
just his
Francis
body.
Notice?
Yeah, Francis won't
That's
be
the body.
aware unless you want to knock out Francis, in which case I'll find his character sheet.
No.
We will roll initiative. But it'd be funny.
Basically saying, would it be like a brain transplant essentially, or would it just be
No.
a new ooze gets different intelligence and a mind of its own?
So a 28 from Lucia as you're talking about this. It's kind of yes and no. yes, you're transferring the intelligence, but in the same way that, like...
+4.
He got the +4 in from Paul. It's kind of like if you pop the batteries out of a remote and then put them in a remote that has no batteries. Yes, you've transferred the energy from one remote to another, but you haven't created more. Splorpy would lose his intelligence.
Okay, so it's not just taking this. So Splorpy
is a creature with an intelligence score of 0 with a headband and vast intelligence +6.
Why don't we?
Splorpy, as we know him, would cease to exist.
Just
and
recharge him.
Splorpy would happen,
Correct.
not as separate.
Dr. Frankenstein, let's just recharge him.
Yeah, let's find that recharging station that's close by and hopefully doesn't have a lot of blight burn near it.
Sure. All right, so you guys take off. The closest one is... I rolled a 90 on the percentage. That's the name of this session, the percentage dice.
Why couldn't we have had that for, like, the Splorpy merging thing?
That'd have been so great. Then you'd have the biggest Splorpy. Okay, so it turns out there's one, like, right around the corner. From where you guys come up, there's it's like a stable, but you think it might be for cars or something. And you open it up, and there's one.
Tanks.
It's about the size of, like, 4 car batteries stacked on top of each other. Splorpy, without hesitating, moves towards it, and there's a bit of a center part that he rolls up on top of, and he begins glowing and floating a little as his hit dice are returned in about a minute. That noise is accurate.
Cool.
Splorpy no longer has a number of negative levels equal to his hit dice, has full power.
That's awesome.
Now it's a matter of finding something that Splorpy can drive, because that tank...
Well, we know where we left that tank.
That's pretty far. It's probably like 2 hours. No, it's probably more like 3 hours by carpet. Because
it's
that thing was
3 hours
broken.
by carpet, but we can still, we have something to deal with the ghosts if they show up again.
I've rolled an 83 on the percentage dice, so it turns out that in this place where you found the charger, there's it'd fit the 6 of you. It looks like a cart, and that cart has no horses. It just has the 4 wheels sitting on the front and the back, and it doesn't have a top. If there's a spot in the front that there's a circular depression where a capacitor would sit.
So this is a horseless wagon, effectively, to carry us around.
Yeah.
Awesome.
By the way, did the snake make the trip?
We should totally keep this. We should definitely take one of these up with us.
You think, Van? There's a back compartment that's big enough to hold either Lucia's dragon or your Viper, not both. And there's no way that either one of them is based on what you saw with that construct before. There's no way they're going to be able to fly to keep up. Of course, the Viper will figure it out eventually. The Viper will get there.
Based upon how big the city is, my dragon, if with the flight spell, can just fly at 4 times its speed.
That's nowhere near fast enough, though. It's like flying at 4 times your speed is a speed of 240. I don't know what that translates to in miles per hour, but it's not 80 miles an hour, I'm sure. Car go faster than zombie do. Perhaps that's the name of the session.
Car go faster than zombie.
Well, we break down the zombie again and we put the worm in the trunk.
That also tracks.
There we go.
Alright.
Anybody want to help me with the dragon again? Get some aggression
I
out?
would love to help you with the dragon.
Alright. Here, boy. Here, boy. Come here, boy. We got the Scooby snack for you. Come here, boy.
Part of me feels bad for the dragon getting treated like this.
This won't hurt a bit. Just put your neck down on the ground.
This will hurt a lot.
Nerve endings. You'll be fine.
This will hurt a lot.
It
hope you die.
It is a good thing that undead do not feel pain the same way that humanoids do.
Yeah, they don't have nerve endings. There's nothing to hurt.
Especially the skeletal kind.
So if you get in the vehicle, Splorpy assumes his position at the front, and the thing... I'm doing real good on percentage dice. 76. Okay, so as the thing kicks on, it begins to lift off the ground a little, and the wheels fold up under. It only gets about 6 inches off the ground, but it's like perfectly hovering. And
we're taking this with us to the surface, right? This is coming
this is
with
pretty
us.
Cool magic.
In the front, there is a circular object, kind of like appears out of nowhere.
Meta, I definitely know what that is.
Yo, yeah, you do. And Zandu probably, based on Zandu flying the carpet and the whole squad being on that carpet for so long, that's definitely the thing that makes it function.
Okay, Zandu's got a decent use magic device. I don't know if this counts as a magic device, but as far as he's concerned, it is. So he's gonna put his hand on that circular thing.
Sure.
I'm curious. So this vehicle, does it have a nameplate for the maker of it?
It says Lucia's Terror. No, it doesn't say that. They're actually, I'll say, like Torog's holy symbol, just a little more archaic looking, all over the car. Anyway, I'm hearing a use magic device from Zandu.
Yeah.
I'm going to remind the party, because I know we forgot about it. Munavri have object reading. You all have a Munavri.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
Qazah doesn't want to step on anybody's toes, though.
Fair enough.
You have a what? A what?
A Munavri is a race of
Zandu wants a chance to feel
Darklands.
the wind against his bald head.
What's Munavri?
That's the race that Adam is playing.
Oh, okay.
It is.
And Zandu has passed driving school with a natural 19. Wow, so with a 40, yeah, Zandu is just highway star as he takes off.
Go. Qazah has the window down, his head's hanging out, the little doilies on his headband are flapping around that give it the +1s.
To be clear, there's no windows. The thing doesn't have windows. It's just there's no top. You've essentially got a hover convertible.
You found the switch.
You found a hover Corvette.
So mechanically, Zandu's rolled high enough to use the magic device, and also high enough again that he doesn't this is how it works. Jams on the gas as hard as he fucking can. And you guys are able to comfortably cruise. Zandu pretty much has the complete knowledge of how cars work. Congratulations, Colin.
He found the manual in the glove compartment.
Awesome.
The gauntlet compartment, I mean.
Yeah.
So
the bracer compartment. Okay, so
Zandu is going to keep going and sort of keep an eye on, I guess, the gas meter that shows how charged Splorpy is.
As soon as you get out of the garage, the haunt manifests. I finally rolled bad on the percentage dice. They just kind of they're all standing awkwardly as you guys are freaking out about a car. So I'm gonna say,
hey, we're freaking out about a hovercraft, okay?
That is good. I would also freak out about a hovercraft.
Gun it.
You guys will. We're not gonna roll initiative because we know what the actions are, but I would like everyone to make a fortitude save because it appears active all around you guys.
Gotcha. All right.
Natural 20.
Qazah passes, and the first person who fails also passes.
Is this a radiation effect
24.
as well?
Yes, it's totally a radiation effect. Zandu passes.
Wait, where's my... Oh, sec, sorry.
Lucia passes. Pug passes. Enterling passes. Francis, you all pass with flying colors.
So that 20, does that mean that Qazah becomes immune? No?
Here come the percentage dice. No, they do not. If I'd rolled high, yeah, sure.
Does Qazah grow a third arm and become like Enderling and just go all Fallout mutant?
It
becomes a super mutant.
I'll say what happens. What happens is because you guys are about to cast. You're about to start spamming the. I don't remember the name of the spell. Purge Spirit. The first one. The first one will be maximized. Enterling, you do pass. So if you guys want to go ahead, now's the time if you want to pass and stuff.
Start spamming them.
I have 3 prepared. If we need to use more, I could prepare 2 more additional if need be.
Okay, so like now is the time, or there will be another fortitude save.
Okay, so Zandu, so do you want me to use once the purges up?
Please do, so I don't crash into anything.
Okay, I'm going to do that. So use one up.
Sure. I don't know what my DC is.
It would be DC 24. It would be DC 25. Will say for partial effect.
Okay, so they do fail, and it's awkward that this comes from
Also,
Lucia.
if they're incorporeal, it has full effect no matter what.
Incorporeal. They're incorporeal. Incorporeal bastilas. Can't believe I had that session go live today without editing it. I feel a fool. I've been busy the past couple days. Anywho, so as Lucia, as our necromancer, casts Purge Spirit, the light of Sarenrae fills the wagon and like arcs along parallel with the spell, and 60 damage is assigned to the haunt. It's treated as maximized. The haunt is like, they all recoil and hiss a little, but that hasn't dispelled it.
So we're riding in a Holy RAO Speedwagon. Someone left the radio on, and it's powered by a Splorpy that just powers it like a little bit. So it's still broadcasting in the area. So we're riding down the road like, born to be wild. And it's like,
there's all these radioactive skeletons.
Does it have wood panels? It needs to have wood panels.
Oh yeah, totally. It's exotic down here in the Darklands, see, so you wanted wood down in the Darklands.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to import that stuff.
Rich Corinthian leather.
Can you tell me what type of wood the interior it is made of? You seem to know wood pretty well.
Oh, god damn it. So does Zandu want to cast it as well? The haunt is not dispelled.
Zandu will have to like, put his foot on the brakes first.
Okay, you understand how...
Don't slow down! What are you doing? Faster, faster, or I will drive!
Zandu will stop, get over, let the Munavri drive.
Scoot over.
So does
and
he would totally
spirit.
He would totally spend his understanding device thing to be able to drive the hovercraft.
They roll the same thing and fail, so go ahead and roll your damage, Colin, and also, Qazah has complete understanding of how at least this car works.
He's got pedal to the metal, man. He's like going.
That one. Okay, I'll say that does dispel the haunt. The haunt is
Haunt's
dead.
over.
Nice.
And Pogue found the radio.
And
Pogue found... Well, did Pogue find the radio? I'm gonna roll percentage stars.
Oh,
I don't know. Pogue found the radio.
It has magic music! Turn it up loud! I can't hear it over the wind!
And the 8-track cassettes. Woohoo!
Whoa, what are those? Oh, magic magic cartridges!
This is interesting, and you see Lucy googling, impressed by the tech in here.
Did you say you were googling something?
Yeah.
Oh, like ogling, like big eyes, not like I'm gonna break out my phone and Google how do cars work.
So picture if this was a anime, the big story eyes. She's impressed by all the tech around her. Type of
the big eyes pop out.
Yes.
Got it.
Zandu's gonna be like the co-pilot because he knows where all the charging stations are now.
Actually,
apparently.
to go even farther, here's another. They're in the 80s again. Okay, so in the... I'm just going to speak in meta. In the glove box...
There's a AAA roadmap?
Essentially, yes. That has what looks like little images of Splorpy. Just all over the place, which Zandu assumes is where you can charge Splorpy, and where may also be found other things like this.
I'm curious. So with the pictures of Splorpy, does it show a home? Does it show another female?
They are oozes.
It's like a Fallout advertisement, like 1950s. You got your male Splorpy and your girl Splorpy, and you've got their little kid Splorpy.
I don't think you guys understand how oozes work.
No, but we understand how marketing works.
Yeah, fair. Okay, I can't argue with that, I guess.
Yeah, but even the Mrs. Splurpy has a big beard.
Yeah.
This is Dwarf Town.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they had convertibles, I guess. All right, sure. Okay,
Surfboard in the back.
Qazah, where are we going?
We gotta find some way to dig ourselves
Somewhere
out
fast.
of here.
We're going back to where Splorpy's mech was.
Okay, sure. So that you guys get there in about an hour, and the haunt does not respawn. It's definitely a ride. There's no like.
Oh yes, it is. Oh yes, it is. Qazah tries to see if it can go above, higher and lower, if it's like free floating or what. 'Cause he's got full understanding, man. He's enjoying this.
All right, so it
If he
can
can
go.
do barrel roll.
It can go.
and Pogue has Featherfall ready, just in case.
Okay, so it doesn't go more than like a couple inches off the ground. You could land it and use the wheels if you wanted to go considerably slower and also not burn through Splorpy as fast. As far as barrel rolls, you could probably find like like a Grand Theft Auto style like jump
Like a
where
ramp
time
to-
slows down, like a ramp over construction or something. If Qazah really wants to try this, I
No.
won't say no. I don't know what check
Well,
even.
not with everybody in here, but maybe on some personal time with find another Splorpy to stick it in the container of Splorpies.
What? Alright. So,
Well, I can't use our Splorpy up.
that's
Yeah, the
true.
question is, will the other Splorpies, like, can we find some way to, like, communicate with them? Oh, yeah, we're driving this thing, hop in.
Man,
Well,
how
I
are we gonna get
I
them?
just asked Splorpy how he did it.
Wait, so we're using Splorpy as a battery, right?
Yes,
So then he's gonna power the mech?
that's the thought. Yeah.
Okay,
The giant
then
drill
when he
mech
runs-
that we
when he
can dig
runs-
our way out of here
right,
with?
So when he runs low again, in like
You
5
just charge him
seconds. So how do we get back to the charger?
So yeah, you're gonna be at about half power on Splorpy by the time, and you have reached where that gigantic construct with big old drill arms and cannons, like a sentry.
Yeah,
bomb,
I was
but
gonna
bigger.
say, Zandu is keeping an eye on the gas meter, and every time it gets to a point, like, and he's got the map, so he's going to try and find the nearest recharging point to the mech,
Okay.
besides the one
Well,
that's destroyed.
Unless Splorpy is incredibly inefficient, which I doubt that he is, he won't need filled up more than once or twice.
Well, the first time around he needed it filling up like pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
essentially have burnt half a tank of gas to get where you are. Splorpy is a little like woozy as you guys pull up. But also, he's an ooze, and there's nothing protecting him from the elements. So there's probably a bit of like electrical discharge and bits of ooze that like fly back. As you guys, that's kind of dangerous. Oops.
But
Tough Francis.
as long as we know where the charging ports are, it doesn't really matter
That's also
that
true.
Splorpies.
Yeah.
The next closest
Splorpy
one,
gets-
because the one here has been savaged by the Gugs. The next closest one is a little farther off, and like it's in a different. Now you definitively actually can tell what's up with this town. It's everything kind of serves like the same utilitarian purpose, and there's not necessarily districts so much as like one perfect copy of like how a small community would function, and then just copy paste over and over and over again, and that is what makes this place. So,
Subdivisions?
kinda.
I'm curious. So the haunt, it is gone permanently.
Meta questions must be answered with knowledge checks.
Knowledge will religion, but was the damage done? Will it? Will no?
I'll wait
no,
for the knowledge
gone
religion check.
permanently.
I cannot answer that meta question unless you give me a good reason to do so. You don't know.
Okay.
It's gone for now. You've definitely dispelled it, but these guys, like, they're radioactive ghosts. You assume that what went down was like the radiation is probably what killed those people. So it might be a matter of like you well, not in layman's terms, and to coin a phrase, you like disturb someone's graveyard and a different one animates, or maybe this one comes back a little more powerful because they're probably pretty upset about things that have been for a while.
Can I figure out how much time until the haunts come back? I'm just thinking of getting the most use out of the power source we have.
You cannot, because there's two variables here. Like, that haunt may take 24 hours, it may take 8. There may be separate haunts. There may be even haunts that are attracted to the sound of a hover convertible gunning it down the interstate, being the only car that's moved in a very long time. Yeah. And Kane is going to be so pissed. He's been so upset about the constant combats and grinds, and now you guys are just driving hover convertibles.
Yeah, Kane's missing a fun fashion.
Yes,
we are flying around, going at 80 kilometers plus.
Yeah.
Zandu's having like a midlife crisis because he's middle-aged now. He's got the hover convertible and stuff.
I'm not middle-aged, so I guess my convertible isn't a midlife crisis.
Nah, yours isn't. You're not old enough yet.
Yeah, I did it. Alright, so what's the plan here?
Full life crisis.
Splurpy, if you guys get out of the car, Splurpy rolls out of the like engine block, and he's a little woozy, both from being essentially strapped to a car and gone like 80 miles an hour down the highway, and from power drain. On a more serious note.
Let's
Qazah would try to pet him with a shocking grasp, but I don't know that worked.
I mean, it would hurt you.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I can use my weapon to do it.
Yeah?
I'll just kind of reach over and go...
Okay, it doesn't recharge him, but it doesn't hurt your weapon either, or you.
It just like tickles him. It's like...
So I suppose we should recharge Splorpy before getting him back into this giant
I would think
golem thing.
Yeah, but remember, you can't charge him here.
Yeah, we got to go to the nearest one, which I thought was...
It's a little ways away. It's kind of the same idea.
Because the whole idea was to like stop partway there and recharge him, then go there. But
I see. Yeah,
Qazah was driving.
Qazah was driving. Qazah was...
Yeah, Qazah was driving.
Highway star.
Pull a Yui. Come on.
You could. There's definitely places behind you.
So, how far away is the closest one?
That's a good question. Okay, now the percentage dice have evened themselves out, and this madness can cease. Okay, so it's a couple miles back. It's kind of like the place where this giant golem is, but a little smaller.
And the question is, what was Splorpy's meter reading on the car thing there?
About halfway.
Oh, about halfway?
So you could get back there.
Oh yeah, we could
40,
definitely get
high 40s, probably.
Is it close enough to walk the mech back there?
You could.
Without him running out.
The mech moves about as fast as that car did, so.
The mech probably uses considerably more power, though.
It's about the same.
But if he's not digging.
Really?
Yeah.
If he's not digging.
Now, digging would definitely cause more of a power drain. It's a matter of, like, Qazah guns it, and mech is bigger, equals about the same amount of power drain.
So we could walk the mech back, and we could all just, like, take the worm.
The worm?
The snake, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could. It would be slower.
That's only, like, 2 miles, right?
Yeah, but that's about an hour walk, as opposed to, like, 5 minutes you're there. But no, you certainly can. Well,
I mean, otherwise we're going to be in a perpetual...
Well, either way, we have to go back to the place where the tunnel used to exit, then use Splorpy to dig our way out. And how big did you say
Which direction is that?
Splorpy was charging on?
How big did I say it was? It's like about the size of 4 car batteries stacked on top of one another. Not like 1, 2, 3, 4, but like 1, 2, and then 2 more on top for like height and width.
Oh, okay, so that'd be like if we can fit a freaking Viper in the trunk, we could like fit extra batteries in the trunk for Splorpy. So I say we take the car back and collect batteries, put them in the trunk, and then go back to the mech and bring the batteries along with us.
Are they batteries, or are they charging ports that are sized like several batteries?
They're charging ports sized like batteries, and they're affixed to things and plugged into things. So
they're affixed? We can't like pick them up and take them?
You might be able to try. Pogue can probably take them apart. It's the putting back together again that becomes the problem.
Gotcha.
Is there any type of manual guides or no?
Not really. Just like a basic
map. Not that
map.
we'd be able to read. We got the map. I mean, that's real good. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I say we charge up Splorpy, then we go to where the tunnel used to be before it got stone-shaped closed.
It's not stone-shaped closed, unless you mean like go back into
the cave-in.
Yeah, big cave-in.
Ugh.
What's that knowledge engineering then?
To see if I knew how to put it back together.
You'd have to see one, maybe.
Okay.
It's a strong maybe though.
Okay.
So we could because that cave-in, at least we know that will be a safe way out that won't lead to like water and us drowning in a tunnel.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Safe, I guess, is kind of it's a funny word given everything that's going on, but like you won't come out in the middle of a frozen lake, that's for sure. It just dumps out into a little cave in the verdant forest.
So basically what I'm saying is that would be the best spot to dig with Splorpy if that's where we were going to dig.
Correct. It would be the best use of your time. It would probably still, even with one Splorpy and like the party assisting with stone shapes or strength checks or etc., it would probably still take a couple days, maybe even more. Variables, but it's doable. It's the only way it's doable though is with this giant construct that Splorpy can power.
And constantly having to recharge him, like go back every time he gets to a certain point.
Yeah, because
recharge it.
Those drills aren't spinning, but if they are, it's going to take a lot of power.
Let's put a charger on the snake.
Okay, so you guys make it to the charger. It's a garage about the size of the one you're in. Oop, I don't know what I did. What have I done? Oh, I see. Okay, I'm not in Roll20. There's percentage dice. Okay, so the garage is completely empty with the exception of the charger. Splorpy charges back up to 100. Now, if Pogue wants to figure out how to take this thing, it's a disable device check first to both stop it from electrocuting you and safely remove it in one piece, and then a knowledge engineering to put it back together. The first one it's kind of an arbitrary roll at 15 because you need to get your hands on it because it's so foreign to you.
So will a 30 do it?
I don't see a 30.
I can make.
Oh, you can. Yeah, you're a bard. Okay, so
I can roll knowledge engineering if you need my help.
Well, I can roll knowledge engineering too, except my first time absolutely sucked.
Boom. So, yeah. Okay, so I think the disable device check does need to be rolled though, right? That's the thing.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes, because it's not knowledge.
Right.
36.
The 36 is enough. What?
Okay.
What did you say, Colin?
Even better.
Even better.
Even better than a 30.
Yeah, that's enough to pick apart the wires and stuff, and you come a little close to like singeing your fingers, and also even closer to irreparably cutting some wires. But yeah, you figure it out. Now, a 30 on a knowledge engineering, it's close. It's not quite enough given how foreign the tech is. A 32 is a little farther. We're not quite there.
Someone have another with knowledge engineering somewhere? Or you did say it's basically magic and engineering put together, so would a knowledge arcana also be able to do an aid?
It might. It's a little different, but okay, so with Lucia making it a little higher, you guys can figure out how to put it back together. It's awkward. It's wonky. It might not necessarily work forever. Like, you've certainly, by disassembling it in this fashion, you've tore it up. But you can get it back to moving. It's just like,
Alright.
you're going to have to, like, jury rig it back together. So it's the next move, team.
So did we put it back together on the back of the snake?
You can if you want.
So I thought that was what the knowledge engineering was for.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Are you trying to power the snake with it?
No, the snake's already powered.
Okay, fair enough. Because I mean,
We're trying to use the snake as a power source, I guess?
No, we're trying to use the snake to move the power source
Yeah, fair enough.
so that we can just move it up the tunnel behind Slurpee.
So we can get out, recharge real quick, go back,
Right.
without having to constantly drive back and forth to different recharging stations. Gotcha.
Right.
Sense. So I suppose the next step is to use Splorpy for a couple of days to dig our way out.
yeah. It's, you guys are, I'm rolling real bad. It's going to be most of the rest of the day to get back to the cave-in site. Basically, like, back the way you came, and then because it's like, that's how far you're moving, gunning it down an unoccupied highway. You got to go, like, all the way back from whence you came, and then a 90-degree turn.
So this thing, if we're traveling 80 miles an hour,
This thing is huge.
this city is bigger
the city's
than
real
a
big,
state.
yeah. This city is very
It's
big.
bigger than a state.
Dwarves are cool, man.
It's all very sprawling because
It's like Alberta.
they didn't have elevators.
Yeah.
Everybody lives in ranch houses. It's crazy.
All right, so you guys are able to get. It takes to the end of the day if that's what you want to do, but how? I guess I also need to say that the construct is not big enough to carry the entire squad on the back of, because there's no room for people to sit over, like, the drills and guns and things. So it actually probably even takes a little longer. So now we have to split the party.
No, we don't.
Thanks, Van.
We just drive slower.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, it's gonna, like, it'll take into, like, next morning.
All right.
I
mean, heck, considering how long it's taken us to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, you know, if people haven't managed to stay alive, then they're already long dead.
Fair enough.
yeah. The question is, because Qazah knows his way kind of enough around to avoid the blight burn we said before.
Yeah.
So we should be, for the most part, like, not taking huge amounts of radiation, at least all at once.
Yeah, no, you guys would be taking in just, like, incidental bits. Enough to where, like, if you stayed down here for a week and you went outside, you'd glow a little. But that's about it. Of course, like, there's nothing saying you couldn't turn a corner and there's a bunch of blight burn, or, like, in the process of digging your way out, there might be a patch of blight burn that has fallen down. Because blight burn is essentially just really radioactive rock.
Interesting.
So I'm going to...
So you'd have to be careful there.
You do. I'm going to roll percentage dice for you guys. You guys essentially end up camping out. I should be able to describe these things better, but I'm just going to speak in meta. Like, on top of an overpass is where you have to camp out. You have a pretty good view of the surrounding area. It's pretty high off the ground. And somehow still in one piece. It's like the level of engineering and the level of the ability to build buildings on Galarion can't build structures this high. It can't build structures this, like, the way this thing is supported. Also, I've rolled a 39.
I don't know. I've been to Magnamar. I've seen that bridge.
Yeah, okay, Mal.
That's
this one
a
is
big
bigger.
bridge.
This one is bigger.
Oh.
I want to play Rune Lord. So I've rolled a 39. Do I want... I don't really want an encounter. I'm not feeling an encounter. The haunt reappears. Everybody make a fort save. This is like as soon as you bed down, the haunt kicks on.
But
Oh boy.
Something bad has to happen to you at some point.
we already had a haunt once.
Qazah passes.
Remember Gugfest?
Lucia passes. Zandu would fail. Actually, wait. Zandu passes, because that +4 is still ticking, right? Donald?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
In that case, Zandu and Poke do both pass. Just barely, but they do make it. Is Joe still with us? If so, I require a fort save. I think Joe died. That's okay. He's had a bad time. Joe passes. He's fine. He's had bad tooth problems. Okay, so everything passes. You're good. But the haunt is still there. We won't necessarily roll initiative unless you guys want to do something crazy, but the response to the haunt is you guys.
Unless if the haunt do anything,
it's there. It's gonna keep ticking. It's a matter of X time
radiating
passes.
us.
Yeah, you are surrounded by poison, and it's a contact poison you will be in contact with because they're definitely close enough.
If need be, I can use the purge spell again. If
Well, Zandu already did it for 40 right now.
Boom. Okay, so let me make a will save real quick. Okay, this time the haunt passes.
It's 24 because of the +2.
Gotcha. Okay, so I take 20 off that. Yeah.
No, the DC is 24.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
It doesn't.
Okay, so then it takes half.
It's
Unless it's incorporeal, then they still take full no matter what.
Incorporeal.
It's incorporeal.
Oh yeah, they're
Incorporeal.
ghosts. Yeah, definitely. They're incorporeal.
So, because the difference is incorporeal versus because there's different things in Pathfinder that are. It's basically incorporeal and then some other thing depending on which plane you're in.
I see. Okay.
I don't remember exact. Oh, incorporeal and ethereal.
Ethereal. Damn it,
Ethereal,
Colin.
whatever. Pronunciation.
You're as bad as I am.
Ethereal.
Ethereal.
So
Yes, you're both
ethereal would still get the will save. Incorporeal would not.
Okay. Yeah, they're incorporeal. They're essentially again radioactive ghosts. They don't get the will save. They take 40 damage, but they're still there.
Yep. Okay.
does it look like I need to use?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so make a will.
I don't make a will save because, but we
Okay.
just said, it's because they're ghosts. They don't. That's really good. I don't like.
All you have to do is cast it, and they get.
And they take 10d6, 9d6.
Yeah,
They
96
just-
right now. 10d6 next level.
Yeah, it would be 8d6 for me, so total for 48.
Because you got that Agent of the Grave Jam. So I haven't seen you roll it. So you don't have a means of casting it maximized.
Wait,
this
yeah.
time.
So you
Wait.
lose caster level for
Wait.
Agent of the Grave? Interesting.
Because
is
it's a
just
prestige
for-
class. He didn't
It is
level
a
wizard.
first
Oh,
level.
gotcha.
Oh, I thought I don't need to roll.
You didn't need to roll
you-
because there was a natural 20 last time. This time you do.
Okay, so 31.
Alright, that's
then.
not enough to dispel the haunt all the way. You do quite a bit of damage. There's a lot of 6s and 5s there.
Alright, Zandu will take it again.
So before the next casting, does Enderling, does Pogue, does Qazah have any actions? Going once.
You mean like aid another or something?
Not
That's
that
you.
would be effective against
Alright, then
haunt.
in that case, everybody make a fortitude save again.
Oh, God.
I'm practicing for this Saturday. Qazah passes, Lucia passes, Zandu does not. Zandu has finally... He's not looking good. I would say a bit of Zandu's hair falls out. Oh, and Pogue that
Oh.
once. Okay.
I'll be rolling that one again.
Yeah, I bet you will. Okay, so
Yeah, I'm thinking about re-rolling myself, but
Pogue looks really
No.
queasy. Pogue, he puts his hand up to his head, holding it as if massive migraine has come on, and half of the front right quadrant of his head, just the hair just flops off of it. But then he shakes it off. He probably like throws up a little and is fine. I don't. Radiation is funny. But Zandu does fail. Zandu is not looking real good right now.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about doing a. I don't remember whether Blightburn's like permanent negative levels or not, so trying to decide on whether I should use that hero point.
I will say you have failed.
Yeah. Can I even do much? Oh yeah, I could do better than that. That's less than average. Yeah.
Joe, can you make a forward save for me?
Sure, I'll try it.
Okay. Oh!
Not any better.
Okay, yeah, Zandu fails. Enterling passes with a natural 20 and slaps Zandu on the back of the head. He dematerializes for a second, rematerializes, and comes back a more perfect copy of himself. Who wouldn't have taken... I'm going to roll it because I haven't got to do this yet, and it's important to me that I do this.
You're typing in the wrong chat.
Not anymore, I'm not. I fixed it.
Oh.
I fixed it, so it would have been 5 con drain and then a d6 of charisma drain every day after.
Ooh.
And that's real bad for the sorcerer. Okay, so we're not on initiative. The haunt is still there. Everybody has an action before the next round of fort saves kick on.
Would it look like using another purge would harm the haunt even more to reduce?
Not to put like too fine a point on it, but yeah, absolutely. And Zandu casts it again for 29, and I don't have to make a will save because I'm a ghost.
29 is the caster level check. 35 is the damage.
Oh, well, 35 is even better, Colin. And yeah, it works. The haunt is dissipated. Zandu, I almost want to say Zandu comes back with like a quarter of a spell slot, and he's able to just like push it forward, and the haunt dissipates.
Woo! Completely this time?
You don't know. I don't even know. Only the percentage dice know the answer to your problems and whether or not you get sports cars.
Yeah.
All right, so
we always get the sports cars.
Apparently. I'm surprised
you got to remember where we parked that thing.
Qazah's going to paint like a rainbow on the side of it. With sky blue with a rainbow on the side.
Hey, just not on the paneling.
Yeah, not on the paneling.
You can get back there. It's parked at that garage. You would need a second Splorpy.
Oh,
I'm really tempted to give you a second Splorpy. I think you need.
Qazah will come back here and get it.
Sure. Okay. So do you guys we're essentially on like the camp screen at this point? If you guys have any actions you want to take, I don't want to like shoelace you to the next scene. Or shoelace ain't quite the right word, but whatever.
I guess rest and because we're parked on the overpass, go on to the next day so we get spells back.
Okay.
Right, so we don't have to do any more fort saves and crap?
You do not. The haunt is again dispelled.
Okay. So that took all that took all of the radiation stuff with it?
Yeah, nobody failed that didn't hero point out, I'm pretty sure.
Or by someone else.
Nobody failed that didn't hero point out. So, or got slapped in the back of the head by Enderling. Yeah. So fair enough.
So is this the first day stay still, or
this is the end? It's like at the beginning of the end of the first day. That was a really convoluted way to word that. You understand?
Yeah, I am just keeping track of my
spells.
My spells.
Sure. Okay. Well, if nobody has anything they want to do now, the night does. Well, night is kind of arbitrary. You've been in the Darklands for a very long time. It's been a long time since anybody's seen the sun, so it's kind of the tired point passes uneventfully, and now you're at the awake point.
Yeah. This is just a thought, but my thinking is we should stop at recharging stations along the way rather than using the one on the Viper until we get to the tunnel.
That's fair.
The tunnel is where the least amount of charging stations are going to be because it's like not part of the city in my mind.
Yeah, that tracks.
I'm down with that.
So if Splorpy needs a recharge, like we're just going to stop at the last charging station before we start digging.
Sure.
Charge him there, and then if he needs recharging again while we're digging, then use the Viper.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are moving considerably slower because some of the squad has to walk. So
or ride the Viper.
What?
Or ride the
magic carpet.
Or the carpet.
But none of those move 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So
but they're
like,
faster than walking.
yeah, but not like. What I'm saying is, since you're moving slower, it uses less power from Splorpy to move the big giant thing. You don't reach a garage this time. You reach more like a. Where else could power be?
A gas station.
A gas station, sure. That's this time
It's
actually
like a roadside plug-in point.
Yeah, there's just kind of a little hose hanging out of like an overhang that Splorpy, when you move to it, and he kind of just turns that direction, and he unsplorps, because that's what he splorps now. That's what he does from the neck, and just kind of rolls into it, and it begins powering him with. It kind of looks like liquid Splorpy coming out of this thing.
Cool.
Actually,
Nice.
let me get a knowledge.
You fill the Splorpy with Splorp.
Yep, that's how we do it.
We fill the Splorpy with Splorp while we're splorping around and splorping.
It's like filling a human with fetuses to power them.
Yes.
Get splorped.
So I see a 24 knowledge arcana. Does anybody else want to throw it out?
Yeah, I will.
28.
Yeah, bards. Okay.
32.
Has Donald used his hero point?
Yeah, I did.
Does anybody want to bail him out?
Donald just gets a big old handful of shit right in his mouth.
Qazah will spend his hero point so that something bad doesn't happen.
Sure. All right.
Little bit better.
Literally all the better he needed. Okay, sure. So, Enterling and Zandu together, they work it out. Or rather, I guess it dawns on them, / they work it out, that this thing that's creating more Splorpy to put inside Splorpy could feasibly make more Splorpies. Lucia gets it in her head that that's the best idea, and she goes
Are we
just
gonna need a Jello bowl?
sprinting for to grab the nozzle, and what would have happened was he would have made just a real big capacitor ooze that would have been real angry. But she realizes that is a bad idea, and it also confirms, in a mechanical sense, in lieu of powering Splorpy, you could make more capacitor oozes. It would probably require, like Joe said, there's probably a mold involved.
Jello mold in the freezer.
Yeah.
And a refrigerator.
Something like that, yeah.
Put them in the refrigerator overnight. Splorpy.
They might be real mad and attack us, though.
It's more like real mindless.
We gave it life.
But you guys have headbands of intelligence. You could do it. I don't know what languages are key to your headbands, but just common.
That'd be easy.
Yeah.
So if
We could
we're
make
like
a
a gas
Splorpy
station,
army.
What's up, Colin?
So we don't want to just spray this randomly.
That would be bad. That's essentially what Lucia tried. It's almost like Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Well, Splorpy knows what to do with it, right?
Splorpy knows it can feed him. Splorpy is essentially
Splorpy
committing
knows to put
cannibalism
inside.
at the moment. It's awkward. They're oozes. They don't have a concept of morality.
Why are we creating another Splorpy?
Because you can.
We're not. We're not gonna make another Splorpy.
Oh,
That's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. Now
Why?
we know.
What's your premise for it being a bad idea?
I mean, what happens if we made the other Splorpy right in the spot, put the mold right where the Splorpy normally goes in the mech, and then but Splorpy
Just
kind of
a little
controls the
Splorpy.
mech, so
Yeah, no.
how would we control it? We don't want
no.
another
What's your
Splorpy
reason
in
for
the
saying
mech.
no?
We don't want a
Because-
mindless ooze running around in a gigantic mech that will kill us all.
That would be bad. I don't have
We're
stats
putting
for
it
this
in the
thing. Please
car.
don't aggro it.
What?
I don't have
We're
stats for it.
They had to have controlled it somehow.
Yeah, but the car is miles and miles and miles and miles away now.
That is true. Okay, so you guys think that you could take the nozzle and just it's really awkward to just kind of pour gas directly into where the engine block is, and somehow
Yeah,
that
but we
would
need
make
a
it
mold
work.
first.
There's kind of a vague precedent for a mold there. It'd probably come out a lot flatter.
But take a bite of the apple, said the snake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
I guess.
It's
Or
up to you guys.
Drill deeper until you've struck black gold, said J.D. Rockefeller.
I say we save this for for another day. We already have a solution that'll get us out of here for the most part. If we need to come excavate the city, we can share our knowledge with others.
Why don't we just fill a tub up and we can pour Splorpy on Splorpy? Get some hot Splorpy action.
Well, no, we've got
like a Jerry
we've got it. We have the whole generator, whatever machine, sitting on the back of the Viper.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
we
we
can
don't-
recharge.
Yeah.
Splorpy.
So we don't need to pour out any Splorpy juice or anything. He can just drink from the tap.
That's also true.
Wait, if we're pouring Splorpy into Splorpy, is Splorpy getting bigger and therefore able to carry more
Well,
charge
he's
in the
losing
process?
mass from expending energy.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
so the
No,
recharger
okay,
also
actually,
gives
Colin
us
makes a point. I keep clicking in Discord.
Look,
I'm gonna roll
Don't-
dice. Can we make Splorpy bigger? You could
yes.
possibly make Splorpy gain a little more mass than he came out with this way.
But then he might not fit.
Results may vary.
He have body image problems. He's
So I'm picturing now. Mayor Splorpy will have to go to a psychiatrist years from now to talk to him about his body image.
yes.
Or more so about the fact that he was never hugged as a child.
We'll kill people.
Well, especially
Don't hug
electrical.
the capacitor ooze. That's 46 electricity.
Or
Commoners are
stick a
dead.
key in him. All right, so we're good.
Okay, so
We're good with-
you
we're
want to
good
just
with
continue
Splorpy.
moving on?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I gave you guys a chance to go get that car. I did. I want you to know it was there. You said no. Now I've rolled a 15. So
Qazah will get the car someday.
someday.
Eventually.
All right. So you guys do. It takes most of the day, given the speed that you're taking, but you do reach.
We took an 8-track cassette with us so that someday we could do find object.
And yeah, that would do it. You could
Yeah.
scry that car.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Dandy
reach
for
the
sure.
excavation site, also the tunnel. Also, there's a lot of words, but as you do so, make a perception check.
Where are you? There you are. Oh.
Oh man, you guys are bad.
Oh my god. That's really bad. I nearly nat one.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut the hell up!
Are
As you blow everybody else out of the water.
Are we walking on the ground to the location, or how are we getting to the site?
That's a good question.
However we'll go on.
You guys, to get where the drilling needs to begin, you guys have to go into a tunnel that's like 20 feet at the ceiling. So, like, Lucia could feasibly ride her dragon, people could ride the Viper, people could ride Splorpy's mech, and everything in between.
Magic carpet.
Oh yeah, the magic carpet, that's the thing. I forgot you guys had that because you picked up a sports car.
Right. Flying armor. You know, whatever.
It is what it is, yeah. But as you guys get there, it's really just Pogue that sees it. Everybody, well, also Qazah. Everyone else is a little distracted by just all the stuff you've found. And Pogue and Qazah, they both see a dark shape at the top of this tunnel, kind of like contract
Detach
in
itself.
size to move like inside like a solid wall of rocks. As it does so, it disturbs several of them.
giant guy!
Gurgfest 2018 Part 2. No.
Godzilla!
As it does so, it disturbs several of the rocks that come falling down, and you see, like, as they bounce off other rocks, careening towards, not necessarily to hit you in the head, but to land right in front of you, they glow a brilliant emerald green. As they land, make fortitude saves.
Oh boy.
It's been to the next day, and since Lucia didn't specifically say she's recast, you guys don't have that plus 4.
Before I would have had cast it at the beginning.
But you didn't
beginning
say
of the
it,
day.
so this time you don't have it.
Fine.
Everything passes.
Ooh, Zandu, you're doing good today.
Zandu passes. You're doing good now. Qazah
Yeah.
is not.
Everybody passes.
What? No. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I lied. Okay, so it's Qazah, like, he gets a little too close. Like, what is that? And then he realizes that it's, I keep wanting to call it Nethicite from Final Fantasy XII, but that's wrong. He sees that it's Blightburn, and he, like, recoils back a little too hard, and then Pogue's wasp takes off, stings him in the butt. He jumps a little, and I guess it can do a temporary booster shot against radiation.
Pogue
and that's why
says,
good.
that's not an emerald, my friend.
It's definitely, there's just a couple of them, and they kind of look like the rock has been split in half to reveal the Blightburn within. In such a way that, like, it tracks that some of the rocks might be, like, super radioactive, but encased in enough non-radioactive material to not, like, cause harm to you guys, or these could be just, like, random rocks here.
But we don't know, we didn't get a good look at what disturbed it?
You can assume, based on the fact that it knocked it over, and it kind of, like, you've seen a lot of Gugs. You know it was Gugs.
I want to examine these rocks, if it's safe to move them, if my dragon do so, as he is immune to radiation effect.
Undead is immune to poison. He can approach it.
So would it be knowledge, radiation? That would be knowledge nature, right?
I'd probably let Arcana pass as well, but yeah.
Okay.
Also, like, you guys are still pretty close to this.
Why don't we get out of there?
Or have Francis throw the rocks away so that we're not so close to them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before Francis does that, Lucy's dragon realizes that, he realizes I'm gonna roll percentage dice. That's what he realizes. High is in your favor, low is not. Okay, so the rock appears to be like, it's almost like just a lead, not alloy, but like a naturally occurring lead alloy that's surrounded this Blightburn, and it's been split in half to reveal the stuff that's bad for you and thrown down at you. That means like it tracks that that's probably all these rocks, and if those rocks get split in some way, shape, or form, it could be real bad for you guys. And then Francis comes and throws them away, so no one is sick anymore.
So how do we dig our way out of here if all this crap is Blightburn?
Did we say there was a luggage compartment in the Python?
Splorpy's not affected by it, so he can just dig and move it, right?
That is, you could do that, but to do so is to leave, you'd leave him unattended, or at least be far enough back from him so as to not be affected. But yeah, he's not affected.
Wait a minute, isn't
Francis is
Francis
not
right?
And Francis can cast Stone Shape, so it's possible that his Blightburn, like it's a crystal, it's a type of rock in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
He could Stone Shape the leadish alloy stuff back over it should we accidentally expose any, and just sort of keep digging.
That's true. It's kind of awkward. Well, it's not awkward. It definitely functions. But Stone Shape gives you a big amount of cubic feet that you can mess with, but you'd be targeting just like one stone to do this, unless you want to get creative with it. You certainly could.
Well, it'd be harder to what?
Oh, wait a minute, I have an idea.
Okay,
so there's the lead stuff around the bad stuff, right? Can you use Stone Shape to take the lead stuff from another part, and we can make like a shield?
You could. You certainly could.
And we'll put it on creative. We'll put it on the snake. We'll get on the snake and have like a little.
Or we could have we could put it on Splorpy's not drill arm.
Both of the arms are drill arms.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll put it on the train behind it.
Okay, put it on the snake behind him, and just sort of use that to shield those of us who aren't immune to it from the Blightburn.
Okay. So that means I'm seeing Pogue, Enterling, Zandu, Lucia, Qazah, 5 people. Yeah, you could all pile on this. It's not going to be, yet again, it's a crowded, terrible scenario on the back of a demon viper.
It's not really 5 people, it's 4.5.
Yeah. It works, though. Whoever's casting Stone Shape, you would need, I'm going to say, 2 castings of Stone Shape and a knowledge engineering each time.
Can I aid on the engineering?
Yeah, you can. Okay, so in that case, Donald, I will require, if you are casting stone shape 2 times, 2 knowledge engineering checks. Because you have to, like, shape it. The first one passes.
Oh, baby.
And the second one is a natural 20. Okay, so...
May the dice be ever in our favor.
And so they are, yeah.
So we actually get a hot tub on there too.
Not
what you're saying.
quite. What you get is Lucy is doing this. Splorpy and his monster truck golem. That's an entirely different connotation. Monster truck golem at Gugfest 2018. It, like, as it's pushing through the rock, it dislodges something. It's kind of like a shinier, like almost like oblong diamond shaped something or other. It lands at Lucy's feet.
What does the item
Don't touch it until we know what it is.
What does the item look like?
Kind of. I'm trying not to put too fine a point on my descriptions, but
yeah,
I imagine if you would, like, a crossbow, but the crossbow has no, like, cross part at the top to pull the string back.
Is that an Uzi?
Would appraise be relevant? I'm figuring out what would be appropriate skill.
Appraise might tell you how much it's worth to certain people, but that's about it.
Okay, knowledge history to know what the item is.
Sure, yeah, that tracks.
You could probably knowledge engineering to figure out its function.
That's also true.
If you don't know what it is.
The 22, would a 22 in knowledge engineering tell us what it is?
It would give you a solid hint. The 24 from Lucia's. Okay, so 22 knowledge engineering and then
actually it's a 20 because she's adding the plus.
Yeah, I put the roll in.
Good. So 20 and a 24 or 22 rather. You guys work out that it's a really ancient firearm. I don't know why I didn't describe it as a firearm immediately, because firearms definitely exist in the Empire. I botched that one.
Yeah.
It appears to fire a concentrated form of Blightburn. It looks pretty
You're giving us a, what is it, a Gat's gun or a said Fallout Gauss rifle. There it is.
Less of a Gauss rifle and more like
Gauss
a radiation gun.
Gauss is a energy propellant gun, so it would be a radiation gun more or less.
It's a radiation launcher from Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
We're all Magna Guard now.
It appears to have one charge, and it's like it's definitely Blightburn on the inside of like a little canister that's been refined and liquefied, and it kind of like sloshes a little, almost kind of like Super Soaker style.
Ooh,
that isn't safe.
No,
that doesn't. I'll say, yeah, he'd say that in character. That doesn't look very safe.
It probably doesn't.
Now the question is if we can get Francis to make more of these for us, because he's immune to the radiation.
I mean, I don't think the druid will make laser guns. He could. There's nothing saying he can't. I don't think he's capable.
So we can save it and take it to the dwarves.
They might have the technology still.
Spellcasting ability.
You
might lose all the spellcasting ability if he did goes against nature and all that.
Right. But if we take the gun to the dwarves.
That's a good idea.
Add it to the party loot someone, and we can just have it analyzed or give it to someone if need be when we come to the dwarves.
Sure. I mean, you guys aren't going to dwarves.
Or somebody keep it on hand to shoot the next Gug that shows up.
The Gugs are immune to poison and as such.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sure. How about Poe take the item?
Okay.
Pogue or Enderling. Enderling's interested in that kind of alchemical stuffs.
Of all the people in the party, it's probably Enderling that can do the most with it as an alchemist.
He does have a flamethrower. This is essentially a flamethrower.
Yeah, more or less.
The Blightburn thrower.
I mean,
Alright.
flamethrower. Blood
You have a-
burn.
Same difference.
Joe,
It's like burning poison.
Joe, you adding it to inventory?
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't
Okay.
guarantee I'm going to use it, but
Fair enough.
I hope.
Don't you still have that stuff from the? What were those guys?
From the Darrow?
The Darrow in your flamethrower.
He does. It hasn't
yeah, I
been
haven't
used
used the flamethrower yet.
The psychoactive stuff.
Alright, so as you guys begin tunneling through, and like the party has no line of sight at this point except for Francis, who's under my control now. And I guess Lucy's dragon as well. Because you
And
guys,
the wasp.
And the wasp. Well, the wasp is not immune to poison.
What do you mean the wasp is? I thought it was a mechanical thing.
No, he's not mechanical. He actually is a wasp, like a legit insect.
Oh, I didn't know that. Never mind then. He's not out getting poisoned.
Yeah, I assumed. So you guys lose line of sight as you're behind, like, the X-ray blanket, more or less, on the back of this giant snake demon. You work your way through the tunnels. It's pretty slow. The sound of the drills digging in is loud, it's overpowering, it's overwhelming, it's, like, it's downright painful to everybody in this tunnel, because the tunnel's not that big, and you can tell that Splorpy has to exert quite a bit of energy at times, because you can hear the drills, like, spin up faster and faster and faster and faster, and encounter resistance. There's probably also, like, the sound of, like, pebbles to the size of, like, rocks the size of your fist tinging off the shield you've made. Eventually, you guys hear the sound of Splorpy's drills grind to a halt.
Uh-oh.
So what's up, Francis?
I would investigate. So, what is the condition of the drill?
I would ask Francis, what's up?
Francis is there.
Francis,
Okay.
what's up?
Francis, I don't feel like being Irish today. I guess I have to. Alright.
I thought he was Scottish.
Whatever.
Oh, well.
It's some kind of something. It looks like Splorpy's out of power.
Wait, we brought the Viper with us.
And you would need to charge
Yeah.
him.
So charge him.
Francis goes
Come on,
into a coma.
Splorpy. Hop in the charger.
Francis goes into a coma, like I said. He passes out. You guys have to do this. We can't just have the NPC character do it.
Okay. So, is it going to require checks, or has it been rigged up the way it needs to be?
It's been rigged up. It's just a matter of you'd have to go get Splorpy.
Well, I mean, the shield, obviously, in my mind, it's not taking up the entire tunnel.
Yeah, it's not.
Just enough to cover us, so...
He just wants one of us to get radiation poisoning.
Yep.
Oh. Gotcha.
That's pretty much it.
Well,
Who's got the highest fort?
you know what we could do? I don't know if there's enough maneuverability, but the Viper could, like, swivel around, leave the shield facing us, like, basically rotate the shield towards us, with the charger on its tail facing Splorpy.
So is Splorpy smaller now?
You would have to go out and look.
How far away is Zeus from to us?
The thing is, you don't have line of sight to it because the powering mechanism is kind of like Iron Man's chest piece. You would need to go around.
Enderly's gonna go step outside and take a look at it.
Okay, so then Enderly would need to make a fort save.
We remember the bonus from the radiation
Because he
effect.
did cast it, and it was in there. So
So 23.
23, I believe it's a +4.
No,
isn't
it's
it?
21.
Yeah.
I'm putting down to the wall there. It's +4 for save against radiation effects.
So it's a 21, not a 23, and a 21 fails. 21 is just shy of what Enderly would need.
Does 8 another help?
You're
I
too
do
far.
have an action point.
Okay, so if Enderly uses an action point, that pushes him over the line. Splorpy is... He exists still, but he's like a quarter of the size that he was when you guys got down there. You get the feeling that it's got like right up to the point where he would almost cease to exist if you pushed him any harder, and Francis has stopped him.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It's not. an
Francis is
unexpected
actively stopping
development.
him.
Because otherwise you would push the tank out of gas.
And you said Francis is passed out, or
He has to pass out because the NPC can't handle all this for you guys.
well, he's the only one.
Yeah.
He's the only one Splorpy listens to.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess I communicated with Splorpy, didn't I?
You speak Undercommon, so does Splorpy.
Splorpy, get down and get into the charger.
Okay, he seems to be well. Also, you need to make a fort save. If well, no, he can hear you. You guys can.
I'm just yelling.
Okay. He does. That's 100 on the percentage dice.
Charged.
That's probably exactly what happens.
Qazah has motivated.
What actually happens
we
is
break through to the surface, right?
yeah.
What?
Actually, you probably get to the surface this session. Congratulations, guys. But Splorpy hears Qazah. Splorpy begins to respond. As he does so, he in the process of getting out, he kind of jams on the gas pedal a little too hard. That's not what the gas pedal sounds like. That's the noise Kane makes. We all know this. And as he does so, one of the rocks is overturned, and behind it's about the size of Pogue, but there's daylight coming through.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Splorpy kind of collapses as he falls out. Then it's kind of it's like a really flat tire that just splattered a little as he makes his way back to the charging port.
How big is the machine for charging Splorpy?
Like I said, 4 car batteries, 2 on top of 2.
Oh, forklift batteries. Okay.
Yeah.
If we're going,
Hey, what's the problem? I mean, Splorpy can come back or he can't.
He can come back. There's no problem.
Okay.
Because there's 100 on the percentage as you guys have found your way out of the Darklands, but also as the hole opens, blisteringly cold air begins to fill the passage. Everybody needs to make a fortitude save.
Hey, stone shape it. Stone shape that closed.
I do it.
You will not have the time to react, Donald. If I say make a save, you make the save before you do anything else. Everything is passed. So many saves.
Where did I go? 25?
Zandu passed, Lucia passed, everybody passed. So it's very cold. You guys can almost see the frostbite forming instantly on your skin as the wind comes through. But you're able to resist it.
I cast Stone Shape and use 5. How many people are in the party? Is it 5 or 6?
There are 6 of you.
Okay, so I use 6 of Ender Element scroll. So we have.
Okay, so as you use them, the Endure Elements is immediately dispelled. It lasts for about half a second, and it just goes away.
Dang. That's weird.
So how are people surviving up on the...
They're not.
Well, we saw people out and about when we were in Casimir.
That's correct.
Yeah,
A week
that was
ago.
10 days ago.
That cold feels about the same here as it did then.
Speaking of which, Zandu probably has his writing back now because it's been a week.
Yeah, that's fair. So you guys have, in a mechanic-y, story-y sense, you've found your way out of the Darklands and can get to the Verduran Forest. The next problem is now you need to deal with Fimbulwinter, because that's where we're at now.
Did we get to take a look before we sealed up the hole?
You just see daylight coming through. Matter of fact, it probably hurts everyone's eyes because you've been underground so long.
That's probably true.
It's kind of that exiting Vault 101 moment.
Yeah.
How much heat does the Mac put off
That's a
as
good
it
question.
operates?
Let's see. Not. It puts off a decent amount, but not enough to. You'd have to hug the mechanical parts to get the heat, and eventually that would not be good.
Okay. How much heat does gasoline, quote unquote, put out?
How much heat does Splorpy put off?
I guess essence of Splorpy. Splorpy's essential oils.
You make a craft alchemy check. You're the alchemist, and we're talking about an ooze here. So, hi Achilles. I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, buddy?
34.
34. You could probably break down Splorpy and turn him into a pretty efficient fuel.
Can we use the can we pour some new Splorpy out?
You'd have to go back. But yeah.
Why?
Because we left it behind. I'm just.
You didn't take the gas station with you. That's a little too big. Does not fit in inventory.
Oh.
I guess you could pour out a little bit, like,
from the batteries.
Splorpy. For the batteries are.
The chargers.
You could try. You could try to like disassemble them.
Tommy, to figure out ways for us to go on the surface and not be hurt by the cold. So, what type of check would that be?
Probably religion.
Okay, knowledge, religion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw the crosses of Saren Ray keeping some people alive, but it's
so 22 knowledge religion. You get the feeling that most attempts to prevent the cold damage will be finite, more finite than they are normally. Or in the case of like scrolls of endure elements, they were immediately and automatically dispelled. This is several religions across Galarion, in their various ways, shapes, and forms, believe the world is coming to an end. That's what's happening now. However, Pogue and Zandu, when they were hiding outside Casimir, they're both aware that by like all these people huddling next to those big old crosses of Sarenrae upon which people were crucified, people were surviving. People appeared to be just huddling next to those literally for their own survival. In terms of like magic effects will probably not work nearly as well as something a little more physical, such as alchemy, such as even like warm clothing. However, you can expect it to get a lot more cold than it's ever been on Galarion ever.
So we have this lead shield that we've produced. Is it possible that with stone shapes we could wrap it around the body of the machine? Kind of like a mobile home, I guess. And use it as a framework for an insulative, like I said, like an airstream strapped to the midsection of Splorpy's mech.
It's possible. It would be more of the same. It'd probably take 3 or 4 castings, because that's so much bigger to get all the way around the robot that will need stats because it's going onto the surface with us.
I have a possible solution. Would a planar adaptation work? We are technically on
it is magic. It will fail. You understand that very, very completely. You at best, some effects might last for like, if the effect was like a day per level, it might last like a minute per level. Like the very more powerful high tier last wherever kind of things, or even then like the world is coming to an end and it's not just the material plane. All of reality is going to be suffering something not unlike this. You imagine it's probably also snowing like in the city of Brass in the Plane of Fire. It's probably hip deep in snow right now. Anyway, what's up?
Does Qazah and with his holy symbol feel as cold?
Yeah, he still feels the cold.
So those crosses, were they that was some kind of divine magic, wasn't it?
You would certainly imagine. You didn't get very close. Alive. It's hard to say.
Yeah, but I did use detect magic on them.
You wouldn't have line of effect because
true. I thought I was looking out the windows, but whatever.
You would have figured out that like the gist is through the power of Sarenrae be saved, says the former devil worshippers.
No. we all sort of got branded with this this holy symbol of Sarenrae,
which is that marks you as a member of the Cult of the Dawnflower. That's like, it's a holy symbol, but it's not nearly as powerful as like an actual holy symbol.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm wondering if there'd be some way we could find a member of the Cult of the Dawnflower who could somehow power it up in some way.
Well, there's one right behind
I am
you.
a Cult of the Dawnflower, yeah. So, like, I read my war prayers every morning. I have a legit war book that I use every morning, war prayer book every morning to pray. So,
I was more thinking like Mustafa. But
right. But we can't get to Mustafa.
You could.
True.
It's pretty far to the east, but you could.
Well, that's kind of the idea. We either go through the Darklands. We spent this whole time trying to get up to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Now we come to the surface and we can't go up.
I mean, you can. It's just gonna be rough.
One idea, if time allows this, I could summon Genie using one of my conjuration spells, then teleport us to another plane, and then teleport using my magic on that means in that plane somehow to teleport to Mufasa area. That's one way, but that's just one long.
we also have a favor from a god still. So that's. I'm thinking
Does
this is going to be a.
You have a favor from a god? What god do you have a favor from?
Santa Claus.
I don't know who that is.
I do not know who Santa Claus is.
Sounds terrible.
It's actually more like.
Can your
Santa-
god
Santa
make you
Claus.
immune? Can your god make you immune to cold?
The question is the god is cold, so I imagine he can.
Yes, that would be my guess.
So if we do use the favor from
Thermal underwear.
if we do use the weak request, what would we get the most use out of? Getting immunity to cold would probably be best.
So I want to say now that you don't have any say in the narrative as far as what the request is. You can make the request, and then you will get it.
You mean we can ask and then we'll get something, but we may not get what we asked for?
Pretty much.
So even with the way we phrase it, we cannot get what we want exactly.
Nope, you
That's
may
a
not.
shit.
This brings us a shit ton of Hawaiian shirts.
Right.
And they all have
And
like
gun-
cold resistance 5.
And gold.
I mean, that would be nice, but I just imagine they'd
Okay,
be
so how about we phrase it for us to
Again, understand
be
there is
able-
no phrasing that will help you. It's
Okay.
ask someone much more powerful than you to
Right.
help you, and in the way that he is able, he will do so without, like, you guys in a mechanical sense. If all 6, and I'll let Tolk go because I think Kane would let it happen, but like, say for example, all 6 of you want to ask like Desna for something, all 6 of you have to agree, and then there would be like consequences, things you would owe that goddess for in return for her boon. Tolk will give you his for free after Krampus knocked.
Yeah.
But there's no like, please this. It's you'll get what you get.
So we need to get some type of immunity or protection agency code on the surface. Is this the agreed idea?
I'm not sure I want to use the favor for that yet. There's got to be a different way for us to get some long underwear.
Also, like I said, the end of the world is occurring all across the multiverse. That will include Elysium, where Tolk resides. And Tolk he's just an Imperial Lord, which is powerful, but like, give you guys another year of Lordly caliber, probably less than a year of Lordly caliber, you guys can take him.
Nice.
So he's not near as like, it's not like asking like Asmodeus or Sarenrae or Iomade or something, like a true god.
He is an Imperial Lord of cold and winter, though, so
That is
that's
correct.
a thing.
It is definitely right in his wheelhouse.
But the thing is, if Fimbulwinter's going on for him too,
he's gonna.
My thoughts on it.
Want it to not be.
So what?
Right.
He's gonna
want it to not be happening, right?
He's going to want. Like he likes cold, but Fimbulwinter is the end of the world.
Yeah, that's so cold that people will like die forever, and winter will never end. Tulk is a lot of survival in winter conditions. These winter conditions aren't survivable, not in the long term.
The real thing is that if it's the end of the world, he's probably off fighting something or another right now.
That tracks.
And what I'm thinking is, if we don't use the favor soon enough, he might just die.
That also tracks.
Mm. If he dies, does the favor depart us?
I mean, like, how would he fulfill a favor if he's dead?
I mean, if he gives us a favor and he dies, he no longer can sustain that favor.
That's
right?
my point.
So you're
That's
saying,
what I'm thinking.
No. So what you're saying, Adam, is if we get a favor, like, hey, keep us warm, and he says, sure, here's this holy underwear, and we're running around and we're doing great, and then he gets killed, then they won't work anymore.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
I think we need to make some
saying anything. Did Tommy disappear?
I'm here. You guys are figuring your thing out.
He's just on mute laughing at us.
Yep.
Mere mortals.
So, I'm thinking, like, a knowledge religion check to see if that holy underwear would stop working if he died.
I will roll.
I don't have knowledge religion, but somebody should.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, don't everybody roll at once. There we go.
It's actually 3 higher than that. So it's 33.
Oh, Lucia.
So I'm not sure how you add a 20 and a 15, Donald, if you care to enlighten us.
Sorry. I typed it in. And, so it would be 34 total.
It'd be 20 lower. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Okay, so
it's 34.
Lucia and Qazah, they both, like, shenanigans aside, they both worship very powerful deities in Galerion's mythos. Tulk is considerably weaker, and as far as Qazah is concerned, at some point in the end of the world, Rovagog will break free from his prison, and Sarenrae will probably intervene as the Sarenrae's faith is having its huge, like, crisis. That's where the Cult of the Dawnflower is gone, is they've gone to the Pit of Gormuz to fight demons in Clippeth, mostly Clippeth, yeah, in preparation for this. From Lucia's perspective, Asmodeus has always had a plan for, like, the end of the world. Everything is one big turning wheel that eventually will resolve in the proliferation and glory of hell. Both of those gods are a lot stronger. Both of those gods will, at this point in time, pretty much have their hands tied, to say nothing of what is essentially, like, a demigod level power. Tulk will be able to help you. His death, it remains to be seen. It depends on whether or not Tulk's help comes in the form of, like, a permanent channel, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because that would be, like, more along the lines of, like, oh, now you have, like, some cleric levels for free. Haha! Not like that. You imagine it's a little more, I won't say an incremental bonus, but Tulk will have his hands full as well. It'll just be kind of like a tag up, here's this. This will probably be good. But...
And Pogue knows how Calistria would keep her people warm.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Except you have to take your clothes off instead of put more on.
Yeah.
I think the question with Tulk was if it would disappear should Tulk die.
And you don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Definitively don't know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It depends on the form it takes.
Well, why don't we think about it and then reconvene?
I think Hoga's saying we'd like the end of the session. And it's after 10. So, yeah, sure. We'll call it here. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I didn't say it at the beginning of the session, probably because I'm a little tired. But we were joined today by Adam and Colin of the Interplanar Crossroads. They hang out on the channel all the time. They have their own channel. It's, again, called the Interplanar Crossroads. They've got a one-shot going on. Go over to that channel. When does the giveaway end, Adam, by the by?
It ends... You have until the end of June to apply.
So never mind. By the time this video goes live, it'll be over. But they'll have another one at 400, and Colin's running it. But we digress.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Donald Adams. Don't you leave me hanging.
Just cut him off.
Bye.